official with Mexico about his plan to slap 25% tariffs on both countries at midnight, while Trudeau pushes back over Trump's claims that Canada allows drugs and migrants to flow across its border.
Less than 1% of fentanyl, less than 1% of illegal crossings into the United States come from Canada.
Correspondent Naomi Ruckham says investors are not taking too kindly to the threat of tariffs either.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which bills itself as the world's largest business organization, slammed President Trump's decision, writing in a statement that the imposition of tariffs is unprecedented, won't solve these problems, and will only raise prices for American families and upend supply chain.
Could be a rough day on Wall Street. Stock futures have pointed way down throughout the morning. Currently, NASDAQ is down almost 2% in futures trading right now. S&P and the Dow both way down as well before the bell ringing at 9:30. It is 44 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it's the start of a warm and pretty week around town. Today, the high will get up near 70 degrees, plenty of sunshine. We get even warmer as we head through this work week. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Divers in the Potomac River begin lifting the wreckage to the surface today following last week's mid-air collision in Washington, D.C. between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter. Colonel Francis Perro with the Army Corps of Engineers says they remain committed to reuniting loved ones with the victims.
Our goal is to really lift as much as we can, given the fact that we are also accounting for the human remains component.
And so far, the remains of 55 of the 67 people killed have been identified following the deadliest aviation crash in the U.S. in almost 25 years. Families of the victims Sunday visited the crash site. Happening in about 2 hours now, a homeless man will be honored by family and friends after he's killed during the clearing of an Atlanta homeless encampment.
Cornelius Taylor died shortly after he was hit by an Atlanta Public Works vehicle at an encampment on Old Wheat Street. Darlene Cheney, his sister, says they'll take Taylor's body in a horse-drawn carriage by Atlanta City Hall after services finish at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
So we want to march there silently, almost like silent anger, so that they can all see us stand together as a city.
She says they hope Taylor's death leads to change. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Also today, Atlanta City Council will consider legislation that would pause all homeless encampment clearings in the city for 45 days. Watching a murder investigation in Snellville after a car crashes into a home.
A car slams into a home on Inglewood Way. Mason Atkins says he heard noises prior to the crash into his house.
I was upstairs just minding my business, and I just hear 3 little bangs. I'm just like, okay, fireworks maybe.
Turns out it was gunfire. Detective Jeff Manley tells Channel 2 Action News the driver was shot just before the crash.
Still investigating the scene. Not really sure what events led up to this, so we're still looking into it.
The GBI is assisting Snellville police with the investigation. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
And it's yet another possible use for AI. Some people are turning to artificial intelligence for their mental health. Psychologist Dr. Susan Albers with the Cleveland Clinic says there are positives for high-tech therapy.
It is non-judgmental. It is affordable. It may be attractive to people who are reluctant to speak with humans or don't know where to find resources.
But there is a downside. She says there are concerns about uploading private information and not knowing exactly how that information is being stored or being shared. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start on the roads, triple team traffic, and here is Milo Mark McKay.
Morning. This morning, Judd has been terrible trying to get out of Stockbridge by I-675, and now I-75 is impacted by a travel advisory, injury crash, couple of left lanes knocked out on 75 northbound, just north of Highway 138, exit 228. Stick with the delays. You'll be in about 5 minutes of delay up tomorrow, or you can take I-675 headed northbound. The delay is starting to thin out across the northern suburbs. Still difficult out of Alpharetta into Roswell on 400 leaving Haynesbridge Road, and the 85 delays are still in place, 316 down to Indian Trail Road. What about downtown Atlanta, Ashley Frasca?
Rolling up on slow traffic on the connector headed north, beginning around University Avenue. Southbound, it's a long, slow ride trying to get into Midtown Atlanta, passing William Street. Got the traffic lights flashing red in all directions. North side at Marietta, treat that as a four-way stop, and a crash causing delays Hollowell Parkway in both directions near Chappelle Road. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny today, high near 70. That's about 15 degrees above average for today. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, morning low 50. Afternoon, high 75.
It is currently 42 degrees in Alpharetta, 45 in Riverdale, 44 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends, and a good Monday morning. We have a monstrously huge show for you today. Sam Sweeney from ABC going to join us live with the latest plane crash. Happened Friday night in Philadelphia. Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35, talking about the Senate confirmation process and the fact that it is officially tariff time, my friends.
We may have short-term some little pain, and people understand that, but long-term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. We have deficits with almost every country, not every country.
President Trump last night on a tarmac, 25% good tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico, another 10% on Chinese products. We're going to check in with correspondent Rory O'Neill on that, on the very fast-moving, rapid pace of the second Trump administration. One of President Trump's campaign promises was to crack down on illegal immigration and start deportations, and it's been in effect now. I guess I don't even know how long, 2 weeks that President Trump's been in office, and we've seen the impact here in Metro Atlanta over the weekend. I don't know if you saw, Deborah, there was a big anti-immigration protest at one of our favorite shopping facilities, Plaza Fiesta, over on Buford Highway, and you know, even Erickson show on Friday, one of his callers on his nationwide broadcast had an immigration question. So I wanted to provide some clarity for us here in the metro area on what is going on ground level with the current immigration policy and the deportations. So very happy to have live in studio attorney Lino Rodriguez of Rodriguez Immigration Firm. Lino, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for making the trek into Midtown.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
A little background on you, your experience, and your firm.
Yeah, so really quick, I have been practicing immigration law since '06. Started with what is called Catholic Charities, Catholic Legal Services here in Atlanta. I worked with them for a couple of years. Think of it like the biggest like nonprofit that helps individuals. Mm-hmm. Then went out, worked for a big firm, and then started my firm in 2011. So this is all that I do.
I would imagine after election night, your office got pretty busy, right? Did you see an influx of business, of calls, of inquiries after President Trump was reelected?
Yeah, not necessarily business. What you think about it like this, every administration is different. I have been an immigration lawyer through for Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden, and now Trump again. You know, we do get a lot of calls from individuals that have pending cases already. Mm-hmm. But yes, we get a huge influx of calls, and really, especially after the inauguration.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine that.
And once policy starts.
So after inauguration, your phone starts ringing off the hook. The website's going crazy. Who are you hearing from? Are you hearing from illegal immigrants, undocumented workers? Are you hearing from people that are here on green cards or visas? What are the bulk of the questions or inquiries coming into you guys right now?
The answer is yes.
All of the above.
So the bulk of so our firm, we're very, on the ground. We don't advertise and nothing like that. Yeah. So anything like that. So we're getting calls from clients that are already our clients. For example, someone, I'm not going to get too much in the weeds, but someone that's already married to a U.S. citizen that we have a process pending.
Okay.
And we're talking about a process that's going to take about 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer, depending on the administration. Anyway, then they call and they say, hey, how is this going to affect us at this moment? Our case. Sometimes it's not going to affect you at all. Sometimes it is. So those are the calls from people that are current clients generally. And then we do get calls from people that say, hey, we're undocumented. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have firsthand experience of this. My brother, Richard, married someone who was from Turkey, and they had to hire an immigration lawyer, and and Turkey's a different type of deal than, if you marry someone from Canada or Mexico. There's a number of, so they had that long, drawn-out process that you talk about. My brother's a citizen, obviously, and she was here legally on a work permit, green card, I'm not sure exactly, but I know it can be exhausting. So if for folks that, you cited that one example, someone, a citizen here married someone that wasn't a citizen, and their process is going, is the new administration, does that change the dynamic of it, or will that come to fruition, for example, in that case?
Yeah, not necessarily in the sense that it will change the dynamic in the sense that let's talk about situations in these embassies. tariffs, things like this. What's going to happen with these embassies in different places, whether the staff is at the same levels, whether, like I think last time they cut staff by like 50% at the consulate in Mexico, so interviews took 2 more years instead of the year that it's generally taking at this moment. So it will affect it in timeliness, and it will affect it, let's be very honest, if let's say someone gets detained here in the United States for driving without a license, they don't have a criminal record other than that, generally these individuals were not put into our immigration court system because they had a pathway to residency, which residency comes before citizenship, always. It's not an immediate citizenship for anybody. And sometimes people just simply don't have a pathway. Let's just be very clear about this. But what will change is those individuals will be put into proceedings, and then we'll have to deal with a court that, this is a domino effect. It's a court that then will be backlogged. It's already I have hearings set out to 2028.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah,
it will just backlog the court even
new
more.
procedures now in the new administration. This is such a big deal. I was driving home on Friday, Longoria. I don't know if you were listening to Erickson on his national show. He got a call from someone that was friends with a Venezuelan family. And they were here under temporary protection status. There are apparently 350,000 people from Venezuela here on temporary protection status. They're here legally. They're working. They have driver's licenses. That protection status is now gone. And the woman asked Eric, what should they do? And he said, call an immigration attorney. You have to do that, which I think was great advice, Lino. What about those 350,000 Venezuelans that have just lost temporary protection status?
Yeah, that's the question of the hour. So what happens is when you lose that status, to be quite honest, sometimes you just lose that status and there's no other pathway. I was looking on Instagram last night at an article, and of course, in the comments, people, you think you know about immigration, but it is very, very, very detailed. So what's going to happen with these individuals, they do need to come in to speak to an immigration lawyer so that we can see if there's another pathway. Okay, well, did you enter legally? Are you now married? Did you apply for asylum? And that's another pending case that you have. But not everybody has a strong asylum case.
Yeah.
I mean, as a matter of fact, the immigration court in Atlanta denies over 98% of asylum cases.
Wow.
We're in the toughest court in the United States. So it just depends on what these individuals can do moving forward. And to be quite honest, sometimes they just can't do anything because I would say you don't have a strong asylum case. Temporary protected status is temporary.
Yeah.
And let's be quite
That's
honest.
true.
Any administration can take it away. It has to be redesignated every year. Now, we have Salvadorians, for example, that have had temporary protected status since 2001 when it was first designated. These people have lived their whole life here.
Is that going away? Have you heard?
The last time President Trump was president, he tried to take away TPS for basically every single country.
Gotcha.
Did not redesignate it, which, let's be honest, it is within his power.
Sure, absolutely.
He's not really overstepping. Now, it will affect our economy. It will affect a lot of things. It affects individuals that have built a life here. So, yes, we need to look into that, and we need to look and see what these people can do. But let's be honest. Sometimes it's nothing, but they need to sit down and get the facts.
For sure. So 2 separate pots of people, if you will. Those are here illegally, and those who are here legally under temporary protection status. Immigration attorney Lino Rodriguez, the Rodriguez Immigration Firm. I've got so many more questions. Can you hang out one more quick segment, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. This is obviously a huge local issue and a huge national issue. What's going on ground level here in Metro Atlanta with the immigration and deportation status? We'll continue to talk to an expert next on The Mark Arum Show.
When
traffic hits.
Raining pretty heavy crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton Mill.
Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered. For a long, slow ride to I-20. Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Not often we can say this, but 285 is looking great.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey friends, it's Mark Aram. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
We are here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. Aaron, what's one of the big concerns adults in or close to retirement are worried about right now?
It's got to be 401k strategies. Most of the people that come to see us have been good savers, and most of that money happens to be in 401ks. Their big question usually is, do I have my money in the right place, and am I on track for a successful retirement? Well, that's when we get to work. Our 401k snapshot will tell you what's working and what's not. For instance, a lot of people have money in bond funds. Well, bonds don't do well when interest rates are up, and even though those rates have dropped recently, your money could have been affected over the last few years. So for most adults, a 401k is their biggest retirement asset. So let's put that under the microscope and see if we can improve your situation.
What can we do for our audience today?
I'd like to personally invite you to call Vincent Financial Group and let us run a free 401k snapshot. This deep dive into your 401k strategy will take about an hour, and when you come back for the next visit, you'll see the results, along with our suggestions on how to improve your performance. From there, you can take that information about your 401k and act on our suggestions, or bring it to your current advisor, whatever you want. We think this information is so important, we want to make sure you have the knowledge to understand where you stand right now in reaching your retirement goals. Ready to talk to you, 770-280-1488.
No cost, no obligation, 401k snapshot. Where can we find you and the team at the Vincent Financial Group?
Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we serve families all across Metro Atlanta, from Noonan to Perry or from Athens to Blue Ridge. We can serve you in person or on Zoom. You can also find us online at retireatlradio.com.
So take advantage of a no cost, no obligation 401k snapshot from Aaron Vincent and the team at Vincent Financial. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. We invite you to join us Sundays at 6 p.m. for Retire ATL, all powered by the Vincent Financial Group.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. A 401k assessment does not constitute a comprehensive retirement plan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
On Wednesday, February 5th, Atlanta, Georgia is where the best wrestling as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite. Are you ready for some Dynamite tonight? Be there live and witness the one-of-a-kind professional wrestling experience that only AEW can deliver. When AEW returns to Atlanta, all for as little as $20.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite, Wednesday, February 5th from Gateway Center Arena. Tickets on sale now starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
When someone first comes in and you see that discouragement on their face, they've tried so many different products, but nothing seemed to work for them. I'm able to take that and turn it into hope.
You're listening to Mallory, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
They try the arch supports. You see their face brighten up from feeling discouraged to being happy and hopeful again. We're helping people. We're able to take them from the pain to the possibilities.
Try them for yourself with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Walk-ins welcome, or visit goodfeet.com for more information.
Healthy, beautiful skin can be yours with Olansky Dermatology. Their expert team offers personalized care for medical, Mohs surgery, and aesthetic skincare needs. Schedule 24/7 online with their coming Roswell or Buckhead locations, including new evening and Saturday hours in Buckhead. With 40 years of excellence and over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, trust Atlanta's top-rated dermatology practice. Visit OlanskyDermatology.com or call today. Olansky Dermatology and Aesthetics, where everyone deserves healthy skin.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
9:20 on the Mark Aram Show. Plenty of Monday morning interstate delays remain. Live to the traffic center, Mike Shields.
That's right. Stockbridge, Mark, still watching a crash. DOT says in two left lanes, 75 northbound, just north of Highway 138, exit 228, maybe clearing out of the roadway. Delays start right at Highway 138, so maybe not worth a wide way around it right now, but you can always use I-675 as an alternate. This support is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com for now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. At code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Canada's been very tough on oil, on energy. They don't allow our farm products in, essentially. They don't allow a lot of things in, and we allow everything to come in. It's been a one-way street.
President Trump talking about the newly enacted tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China. Wall Street opens in 10 minutes. The futures are down across the board. We'll continuously update the markets and the tariff story here on 95.5 WSB. Continue our conversation, though, live in studio from the Rodriguez immigration firm, attorney Lino Rodriguez. Been in the game, the immigration game, since 2006. Started his own shop in 2011. Really been inundated with calls and questions since the inauguration. I want to ask, so obviously you're in the community, right? You understand what's going on. For those that are here illegally, that aside from entering the country have not committed crimes, what are they doing? We took calls last week. Usually you'll drive by certain parking lots in the metro area and you'll see day workers out there looking for work. What's the community that's here illegally? How have they been reacting? Are they self-deporting? Are they scared? What's the current situation?
So I think they're nervous. I think they have a situation where they know that if they get picked up driving without a license up, that it's a different ballgame. They're going to be detained. They're going to be ICE is going to be called, and then generally a lot of these people will be eligible for bond with ICE. But what they're doing, it depends on the family member. It depends on the family. It depends on the individual. I mean, yeah, maybe some people are self-deporting. Maybe some people are seeing if they're finally taking this time and being like, hey, I'm going to go speak to an immigration lawyer, speak to someone. I want to shout out Catholic Charities, the Latin American Association, amazing organizations, New American Pathways that help a lot of individuals. Think about it like they deal with all they're wonderful nonprofits. Anyway, that's a tough question, Mark, because it depends.
Sure, I get it.
But
let me give you an example. Anecdotally, hearing this, that child going to school in Metro Atlanta, born here. I don't know if that's considered a dreamer, if their parents are illegal, or what the.
No. If you're born here, you're a U.S. citizen. That's a whole other topic, and that's
sure
14th Amendment. That's not. But
okay.
But
all right. So let's just say a child, second grader, born here, parents are illegal. However, the parents are holding the kids from going to school because they're supposed to meet the child at the bus stop. The parent must be there to get the child off the bus, and they're afraid of being snatched while waiting for their child to get off the bus. I'm hearing stories like that.
Okay, let's assuage some fears here. What is happening right now is the Trump administration, these raids, these detentions are overwhelmingly for people with removal orders that have not left. That means you had a court date, you didn't go to court. It's low-hanging fruit because it's very easy for ICE to find these individuals.
Gotcha.
Number one, you had a removal order, you didn't leave. They said, oh, okay, well, this, Lino Rodriguez, I'm going to go, I know where he lives, I'm going to go get them. Number two, with people that recently came in and have ankle bracelets, they know where these people are. It doesn't mean that other people will not get caught up in these raids and these things, but generally.
We're not seeing it yet.
Yeah, and look, we have, 8,000 ICE agents, 12 million undocumented people. It's not someone who's been here for years, who hasn't committed any crimes, who is not, under the purview of ICE at this moment. I wouldn't be...
Not at risk so much.
They're at risk,
yeah.
but obviously more than under the Biden administration. But they don't know where they are.
Let me ask you this question, Lino. For folks that are here illegally, and I talked last week about working in the restaurants and befriending these people, hardworking. If they're here illegally, they can't get a driver's license, right? How can they get paid from their employers? What's that like for those that are here illegally? How do they live day to day?
Well, I think they live day to day. Just taxes are another issue that we may want to talk about, because overwhelmingly I do see individuals with a TIN number, with an ITN number. They do pay taxes at the end of the year. But that wasn't your question. Your question is, how do they make it day to day? They hustle. I mean,
taxi cabs?
What?
Uber? I mean,
yeah. Well, I advise them to take Uber.
Yeah.
I advise them to do those things because that's overwhelmingly what we see. Individuals. We do not see overwhelmingly people with serious criminal convictions. We just simply don't see that. Come under the purview of ICE. But they work and they get paid cash. I mean, that's why you see these day laborers. Let's be honest too. A lot of these day laborers, you can make $150 a day. A lot of these people are not necessarily, undocumented. Let's call it 50-50 because $150 a day is not bad.
Yeah.
You can
Cash.
be a resident and say, hey, I'm going to go out there and work and bust your butt, and it's going to be that.
Yeah.
So they make it like they've always made it. And let's be honest, the way that they make it is by not committing crimes, by staying under the radar. Immigrants are less likely to commit these crimes. They simply do not want to be out there and have ICE called on them. So, they work and they get paid cash based. We know. I mean, we know. So that's what I see. But the problem is, our immigration system overwhelmingly does not allow for people to become residents. There is no pathway.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking about since George Bush.
And that's been an issue for
George W.
generations.
Bush.
Yeah. I know you got to run because you are getting, so many calls and questions. Rodriguez Immigration Firm. If folks have questions, want to reach out to you, website, phone numbers, anything.
RodriguezImmigrationFirm.com, 404-263-4660. Thank you so much for having me.
Lino, thank you for your time. I wish we could fill 9 hours of talking. We'll certainly tap into you as this process continues. Fantastic stuff there. Immigration attorney Lino Rodriguez, RodriguezImmigrationFirm.com. Judd standing by with news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, we're going to go in depth on the tariffs, and we're waiting the opening bell at Wall Street. So much more to come on the Mark Arum Show.
I've been forecasting sunshine for you for 40 years. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, and now I'm excited with the sunshine inside my home. It's bigger and brighter thanks to my Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows. They're not big and bulky like vinyl composite windows. Fiberglass is stronger with narrower frames that brighten your home with more daylight and bigger views.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour, President Trump says he will speak today with leaders of both Canada and Mexico ahead of the midnight deadline when his 25% tariffs are expected to take effect against both allies. Correspondent Mary Bruce says Trump's demanding both countries do more to prevent illegal border crossings and drug trafficking.
He hasn't detailed what kind of progress he's looking for, calling broadly for balanced trade and border control. And this morning, Canada and Mexico are hitting back.
Con el propio presidente Trump.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum announcing she'll impose retaliatory tariffs.
And Canada has made the same threats. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau pointing out that just a fraction of illegal border crossings and smuggled fentanyl are coming from Canada. This threat of tariffs has caused big effect on Wall Street. We've seen Dow futures way down this morning. We're going to check the numbers at the opening bell in less than 3 minutes. It is 45 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says today should be gorgeous. Look for sunny skies, high around 70 degrees. Get even warmer as we head through the week. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Today at the state capitol, Georgia House Speaker John Burns expected to outline his school safety initiatives. The Republican has hinted he'd like to work on a statewide model allowing schools and other government agencies to share information on students. Lawmakers have focused on several initiatives focused on school safety since last year's deadly shooting at Appalachian High School in Winder. Governor Kemp has proposed $50 million in one-time school safety grants. The Atlanta City Council considers legislation today to pause homeless encampment clearings as a victim is laid to rest following one of those clearings near the King Center. Funeral services for Cornelius Taylor are set for 11 o'clock this morning at Ebenezer Baptist Church. His sister Darlene Cheney explains what will happen after the service.
We decided to do a horse-drawn carriage from Ebenezer to City Hall, so that City Hall can see who they killed.
Taylor was crushed and killed by Atlanta Public Works vehicle clearing an encampment. And City Council votes today on a plan to put a 45-day moratorium on such clearings until procedures can be reviewed. Operations begin today to pull wreckage out of the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., following last week's deadly mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army helicopter.
They will focus these first several days on the removal of the CRJ, that American Airlines commercial regional jet. They will then move to the removal of the military Black Hawk helicopter.
Correspondent Skylar Henry says the wreckage should be taken to a hangar so that the NTSB can continue its investigation into how the crash happened. The remains of 55 of the 67 victims have been identified so far. And severe weather preparedness week has begun here in Georgia. Paulding County Emergency Management Deputy Director Eve Cogsdale says you should make your plan for bad weather ahead of time.
We want people to know now what they can do when these storms happen.
She says being able to receive emergency alerts is key during severe weather. Each day this week they will focus on a different type of disaster, from tornadoes to floods. It's 9:33 as we check your money and ahead of these these tariffs that might be happening at midnight tonight. All of the major indices on Wall Street way down this morning. We've seen futures down. The Nasdaq is down almost 2% right now as the bell rings. S&P is down about 1.5%, and the Dow is down about 1%. We will keep an eye on those numbers throughout the day, see if they can somehow rebound. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Mike Shields.
And Judd, better news is Stockbridge crash is cleared at I-75 northbound north of Highway 138 exit 228. The delays are gone as well, but starting to get slow into Cobb County with daily roadwork setting up 20 eastbound west of Chapel Road exit 68. DOT says that's in the left lane. And crash still working in West Atlanta Hollow Parkway eastbound at Chappelle Road, jamming up the ride as you leave the Westlake area. You can always use Joseph E. Boone Boulevard as an alternate. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high near 70, which is about 15 degrees above average for this afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, morning low 50, afternoon high 75.
48 degrees right now in Duluth, 46 in Lithia Springs, 45 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News, hoping with Paws in Atlanta to find a home for our first WSB Dog of the Month, Sherry. She is adorable. She is good-natured. Meet her at WSBRadio.com/dog. Our sponsor, Finley Roofing, will pay the adoption fees for Sherry's new human. WSBRadio.com/dog.
It's pouring in from China through Mexico and Canada, and they've got to
Trev, what does that mean to you and me? Correspondent Rory O'Neill in depth next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
There's a hidden cost we pay in Georgia. It shows up at the store when you call a ride by car insurance. Georgia's broken tort system is making everything more expensive, costing every Georgia household more than $5,000 a year, all while families are still struggling with inflation. Unfair laws in Georgia are driving up the cost of doing business, and you're paying for it. If you're tired of high costs, tell Georgia legislators to pass common sense tort reform now. Brought to you by Protecting American Consumers Together.
You get up every morning and make it all work. You make the hospitals and the labs work. You keep the shelves stocked, the cash registers ringing, the production lines producing. At Vestas, we have the uniforms and workplace supplies you need to do what you do every day. When you think uniforms, floor mats, first aid kits, restroom supplies, think Vestas. Vestas, uniforms and workplace supplies for the people who make it all work. Learn more at Vestas.com.
It will drive the cost of everything up. In other words, it'll be paid for by American consumers. I mean, why would you want to get in a fight with your allies over this?
Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, not a fan of the tariffs. Wall Street, not either. Let's see, 7 minutes into the opening bell, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all down at least 1 percentage point as the Dow reacts to the newly implemented tariffs. We'll continue our team coverage there with correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, tariffs everywhere, not a drop of Canadian whiskey to drink. President Trump enacting tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China. What do we know this morning?
Well, we're looking at 25% tariffs being imposed on Mexico and Canada, only 10% tariffs for Canadian energy that's exported to the U.S. By the way, that's significant. We get an awful lot of oil imported from Canada to the tune of about $100 billion. And the tariffs also are imposed a 10% tariff on goods imported from China as well. And President Trump says he's not done. He's eyeing tariffs against the EU, the European Union. And that could mean big added costs if you're trying to buy that BMW, that Mercedes, or in your case, that Volkswagen.
Before we get into the retaliatory tariffs, let's start with 25% Mexico, 25% Canada, only 10% on China. Why a lesser tariff on an adversary as opposed to two bigger ones on, our friends?
I'm not the guy who needs to answer that question, and really we haven't heard. It really is. It seems to be at his discretion, and that's also the frustrating part of this, because look, Mexico and Canada are, as you said, preparing retaliatory tariffs and saying, look, we just renegotiated NAFTA with you, Donald Trump, a few years ago. Why are we here again? They almost can't really understand why this is all kicking up now.
All right, so as a result, Canadians are up in arms that they are going to impose retaliatory tariffs. What do those look like? Do we know yet?
Well, Canada has said 25% retaliatory tariffs just to match specifically. And then Mexico, they are still trying to work it out. Donald Trump has said repeatedly that we are subsidizing Canada to the tune of $200 billion a year. He's referencing the trade deficit, that we buy $200 billion billion more worth of stuff than they buy from us. But also, Canada is a much, much smaller country in terms of population. So you'd have to assume they're going to consume less. But the president says he's trying to impose these tariffs to get a fairer deal. But most economists say this is just going to be inflationary.
Correspondent Rory O'Neill joining us on the Mark Aram Show. You mentioned the possibility of tariffs on the EU. Are there other nations, continents that might be on the tariff radar for President Trump?
I'd say no one's off the hook, and any of our largest trading partners would certainly be considered for some of these tariffs, and it's a wait and see. And then, maybe he raises the rates. He's already said, I might tariff China 100%. I don't know, wait and see. So it does all seem to be, at his discretion, which may also be part of his bargaining tactic, trying to work a better deal long term with some of these countries.
Indeed. Economists say we are going to be paying more because of these tariffs. Do you know how soon the listeners might be paying the increased prices?
Yeah, it's going to really depend on the product. So fruits and vegetables may be more immediate, obviously, since they have a short life, to be sure. But lumber may take a while to filter into the system. We have seen a lot of companies here in the States have been buying aggressively. Late last year, they were trying to buy as much inventory from Canada and Mexico as possible, fearing these tariffs taking place. They don't want to have to raise their prices, but a 25% increase is significant, and they're going to have to pass along some, if not all, of that cost.
Rory, as always, great stuff. Appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Mark.
All right, so it's quite. I'm a little shocked at what's going on in the retaliation aspect of the tariffs. Canada turned around and imposed a 25% tariff on goods going from the United States to Canada. And we've seen already, Deborah, Canadians unite behind this, and they're actually pulling American items off the shelf. I don't know. We heard Roy talk about, one of the hopes of the Trump administration with these tariffs is to cut down on illegals crossing and fentanyl crossing. I think Roy said 40 pounds of fentanyl crossed the Canadian border. I know that's a lot of fentanyl. It can kill, 3 times the population, but it just doesn't strike me as that's the big issue. The Canadian border is a big issue for, and I could be woefully undereducated on this. I don't know. I understand what President Trump wants to do eventually. The question is, will he lose support for the short-term pain that is required? In fact, he said that. Let me see if I can find the cut talking about the pain that these tariffs are going to inflict right away.
We may have short-term some little pain, and people understand that. But long-term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. We have deficits with almost every country. Not every country, but almost.
Now, my hope was, again, I'm not an expert, but listening to the Wall Street Journal called these the dumbest tariffs in American history. I will trust the experts when they say there will be a negative impact on our economy. Inflation will go up, jobs will be lost, prices will go up. My hope prior to this was that Trump, the ultimate negotiator, was just using these threats of tariffs as a negotiating ploy. And that still might be the case. Canada, Mexico, China might be like, oh, he was serious about this. We better get to the negotiating table. I hope that is still the case. But as of today, as of right now, the tariffs are in place, and it's going to cause, as President Trump said, a little short-term pain. As Rory mentioned, agricultural products are going to be the first that we're going to feel the pinch on. But longer term, it's, the automotive industry. Now, this might be an inefficient way to do things, but I heard one report that a vehicle made in the United States, at some point, parts, services, whatever, go between the United States, Mexico, and Canada 7 times. Let's just say, again, the Johnson rod. Every car has a Johnson rod. The Johnson rod is made in Mexico. The car plant is in the United States. The casing for the Johnson rod is made in Canada. So the Johnson rod has to go from Mexico to the United States to Canada, back to Mexico, back. There are parts that traverse these borders 7 times. And each time, that they cross the borders between the United States, Mexico, or Canada, they're hit with a 25% tariff. That's not sustainable. My hope is that it's still a negotiation process, and these tariffs won't last long. That's my hope. Markets down, big. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all down over 1 percentage point already. Speaking of the second Trump administration, Elon Musk making some waves. We'll go to the State Department, update that story for you next. The Mark Arum Show is on social media at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It should go without saying that I abhor violence.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I just don't feel like other people that I don't know need to know how I feel about things.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey friends, Mark Arum back from my pals at Xfinity. Do you know how many devices the average home has connected to their Wi-Fi network? Probably way more than you thought. Just thinking of my household, tablets, cell phones, appliances, you name it, it's connected to my Xfinity Wi-Fi. Xfinity knows that the number of devices we have connected to our internet growing by the year. That's why they've engineered their gateways to handle hundreds of connected devices. Hundreds, no kidding. Now through March 23rd, check this out. Get Xfinity Gigabit Internet, $25 a month for 1 year with a 2-year contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add an unlimited mobile phone line. Only Xfinity delivers gig speed to the most homes. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. Requires payments, billing, and auto pay with store bank account. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. Taxes, fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile services. Internet rate increases to $65. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. And retirement, protection, and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day. The day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
9:49 on the Mark Aram Show, updating I-20 construction delays. What can you tell us, Mike Shield?
Yeah, starting to see those delays grow, Mark, with roadwork setting up into DeKalb County. No shocker here. A left lane block today, the DOT tells us. I-20 eastbound getting past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. Slow as you leave I-285. Better news, though, as you leave Peachtree Corners. Crash clear to the right shoulder. Peachtree Industrial Boulevard southbound at Winters Chapel Road. All lanes have reopened. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Early star of the show goes to host of Green and Growing, Ashley Frasca. I'm holding up Y on the WSB video stream at WSBradio.com, WSB Live View. Longhorn, I forgot my lunch in my fridge. I'm a forgetful cat. Had a nice big KFC mashed potato bowl that I got yesterday.
Ooh,
and I was so looking forward to it. And I had so much stuff to grab out of the house, left it there, starving. Frasca's got a Sean Hannity Patriot-sized box of these Nutri-Valley protein granola bars, so she hooked me with a couple because my blood sugar was low. And the disappointment of forgetting that delicious KFC mashed potato bowl. At least I'll have it for lunch when I get home.
Yeah,
anyway, welcome back to the Mark Aram Show. Deborah, so the 5K day bonus splits is over. Congrats to all our winners. But we have 2 pairs of tickets to give away today, Deborah. We'll do those in the 11 o'clock hour. But just tease us. What do we have
All
coming
right,
up?
if you're a wrestling fan, we can get you in to see AEW live. So there's that. And then how about music festival season is kicking off? Sweetwater 420 Fest.
Oh, wow. All right. Fantastic. So that's coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. A lot of moving parts, obviously. The Trump administration going to DEFCON 5, DEFCON 1, I forgot the term, but they're moving full steam ahead. Not only do we have the tariffs and the reaction to that, but Elon Musk and USAID, which I really wasn't aware of, the U.S. Agency for International Development. The fate of that agency appeared bleak this morning. President Trump discussing.
It's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out, and then we'll make a decision.
Eric Erickson, I want to pick his brain at 10:35 on what exactly is going on there, but let's go to the State Department. Reporter Jennifer Hansler on this Musk move with USAID.
The latest in a string of developments that indicate that Trump intends to abolish the U.S. Agency for International Development. We had that notice that went out overnight to employees not to show up to headquarters. You heard those comments from Trump, and as you noted, Musk has also demonized the U.S. Agency for International Development. He has played an outsized role on this administration's decisions on federal agencies, and he hosted a Spaces on X overnight to go after the agency, criticizing it for alleged misuse of funding, and he said that Trump had agreed that it needed to be shut down. Take a listen to what else he said.
As we dug into USAID, it became apparent that what we have here is not an apple with a worm in it, but we have actually just a bowl of worms. And so at the point at which you don't really, like if you've got an apple that's got a worm in it, maybe you can take the worm out. But if you've got actually just a bowl of worms, it's hopeless. And USAID is a bowl of worms. There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing.
So I should note, John, that he didn't provide a lot of evidence to these claims, but it is the latest signal that USAID is in the administration's target site. Now, Democrats say the abolishment of the agency would not be legal because it was created under statute. It is an independent agency, and they say that Trump cannot just unilaterally choose to fold it under the State Department, which is what his intention is reportedly to be. Now, the State Department has not commented on the developments, but we do also see a number of other troubling signs. Over the weekend, we reported that there was an incident involving DOGE employees from Musk's office, and they went to try to access USAID, and they were blocked, and officials were put on leave for trying to block them from accessing classified information.
So we'll monitor that situation, and Eric, I'm sure, is more well-versed on USAID. But I think the biggest point there, and I understand what Trump and Musk want to do, right? That was that was his campaign promise, not Musk's, to make a more efficient government, to cut government spending. But the way I read it is that, again, Congress approved that aid. Congress controls the purse strings. Does the president have the ability to go back and say, no, Congress, you're not approving that money? Is there a constitutional issue there? Again, Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35. Give him a heads up, Longo. I might go 30 minutes with Erickson today. I have so much Senate confirmations, all that. Eric, we know, is a frequent flyer. I assume he has Chuck drop him off at the airport for the private flights, and Erickson doesn't have to park his car at Hartsfield-Jackson International. When you guys go out of town, do you park off?
We do the park, the park and fly kind of thing.
How much do you have any idea what that costs a day?
A day? No, but I can tell you what it costs usually a week. It's about $70-75 bucks.
Yeah, all right, that's actually pretty good. Yeah. I do the park and ride a lot, and I think it's like $10 a day or now.
I take MARTA.
You take MARTA, which is smarter. This is a jaw-dropping story. How about having to pay $200,000 to park at the airport? This is out of Germany, right?
This is out of Berlin, yeah. So at the Berlin Brandenburg Airport, there's a car that's been there for like a year, and they've slapped a $124,000 fee on this car because it's just been there. Now the thing is, just to park here a day, it's $552. So
what?
1 day. So if you just wanted to go 1 day back, it's $552. I don't know what this airport's like. I've never been to Brandenburg.
How much a day?
$552 to park your vehicle daily.
Not pesos or shekels or that's dollars.
Germany uses the euro, don't they?
The Deutschmark?
I think they're in the euros
All
now,
right.
yeah. So
First of all, that's ridiculous. Second of all, this car's been there long enough.
It's been there for a year. It's a VW Golf, which are those tiny little ones. Yeah. It's been there for a year. They finally towed it away, but they don't know who the owner is. They can't trace it.
The owner's dead.
Well, they're thinking it was stolen and dumped.
Oh, all right.
But still, it's been just sitting there, and they keep putting fees on top of it.
What oligarch would be like, oh, it's only $500 a day to park here? Listen, I know I've seen firsthand exorbitant parking rates down around the Benz and State Farm. You know, Super Bowl, like big concerts. It's like $100, sometimes even more, like $200 to park. But that's for one night at a I would never do that. Clark Howard would cut off all conversation with me. I'd be dead to Clark if I paid $200 to park somewhere. But what is it like? Do you park on the tarmac for $500 a day? That's crazy. Well, they're never getting that $200,000. The owner of just keep the car.
Yeah, that would have been better selling the car.
Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, all right, lesson learned. If you're going to Berlin, be careful where you park. Could be $500 a day. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. She's going to update Wall Street, which has been tumbling on the tariff news. When we come back, we'll continuously update that. But I want to go in depth. Sadly, I don't know if it was after we got off the air on Friday, another plane crash, this one in Philadelphia. We're going to update that Philly crash and the D.C. crash investigation. Sam Sweeney from ABC News joins us live after news, weather, and traffic. Again, social media is active at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doorbell. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Why shop for Valentine's Day at D. Geller & Son Jewelers? Because you don't want to end up like shouldn't have case number 735.
I got you something for Valentine's Day. Go ahead, open it.
Oh, wow. A new vacuum.
This thing has a 500-watt motor, comes with multiple attachments, and has 4 suction modes.
Oh, Michael, you shouldn't have.
Save up to 20% with our Valentine's gift guide, or go big and get 0% APR financing for 5 years at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
At Cigna Healthcare, we're designing a better way to treat your aching bones and joints. And that starts with predicting problems before they even become problems, up to a year in advance, with up to 93% accuracy. When you save time avoiding surgeries you don't need, you can spend time doing the things you love. When it comes to healthcare, a better system means better outcomes for everyone. That's better by design. Learn more at Cigna.com/better.
So, you don't park in your garage anymore because your garage door is broken? That's it? Oh well, too bad. Been meaning to fix it. How much other stuff in your house doesn't work? TV only gets even-numbered channels when it rains. Coffee maker only makes a cup and a half before it quits. If your dishwasher didn't wash, or your printer didn't print, or your vacuum cleaner didn't suck, you'd fix it. Why aren't you parking your car in this clean, dry, awesome garage just because your garage door is broken?
At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. We have the parts, tools, and the experience to fix what's broken. An expert repair and a fresh overhaul, and you'll get years of service out of your current system without spending a fortune to replace the whole thing. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage, and we'll come over and make it right. Because if it is broke, you do fix it. Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better. MoBetterGarage.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Let's start with your money. There's a sell-off on Wall Street. Worries about President Trump's tariffs are hurting U.S. stocks. The S&P 500 saved 1.7% in early trading, following similar losses for markets across Asia and Europe. The Dow Jones Industrial Average falling 557 points, and NASDAQ Composite dropping more than 2%. And President Trump is warning American consumers that they may feel a little pain from new tariffs on products from Canada, Mexico, and China.
President Trump planning to speak today with the leaders of Canada and Mexico as his new tariffs set to take effect at midnight threaten to tip into a major trade war that could bring higher prices for American consumers.
Alice Barr reporting Canada has responded with a 25% tariff on U.S. goods, and Mexico is promising tariffs of its own. China, which will see a 10% tariff slapped on its products, plans to file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization and take countermeasures of its own. Trump saying these tariffs will pressure those countries to stop the flow of drugs and illegal immigration into the United States. All right, your weather for today, it's going to be gorgeous. Hope you get a chance to get out and enjoy it. Sunny and 70 this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. New information right now on a story we were covering in Atlanta's Morning News. A deadly crash on I-85. It comes after one driver stops to help a stranded motorist.
A single car crash on I-85 northbound near Chamblee Tucker Road. The driver exits the vehicle and is soon joined by a second driver who stops to offer help. It is then that a third vehicle strikes both motorists, followed closely by a fourth vehicle, unable to avoid the wreckage, crashing as well. Police tell WSB the driver involved in the initial crash was killed, while the second person who tried to help is now in critical condition at a nearby hospital. Possible charges and identities of those involved have not been announced as the investigation continues. Graham Kill, 95.5 WSB.
Another man with Georgia ties has been identified now as a victim in last week's mid-air collision in Washington, D.C. Lieutenant Colonel Brian Ellis was a passenger on the American Airlines jet that plunged into the Potomac River after colliding with a military helicopter. That's according to the Baltimore Banner. The 53-year-old Ellis graduated from Morrow High School, where he was a star quarterback. He's also a Naval Academy grad. Ellis most recently lived in Virginia. He's survived by two sons. And WSB Cheryl Castro reports two others with Georgia ties were previously announced among the dead, a first officer on the American Airlines flight and the Black Hawk helicopter's crew chief. Some terrifying moments aboard a United Airlines flight headed for New York on Sunday. It slammed to a halt just before taking off. There was an engine on fire and smoke started flowing into the cabin. Kelsey Davis was on board.
People were screaming. There were people jumping over the seats trying to get off the plane.
All 104 people evacuated safely. Funeral services are next hour for a homeless man who was killed during the clearing of an Atlanta encampment.
The services for Cornelius Taylor are happening at Ebenezer Baptist Church. That's after he was crushed by an Atlanta Public Works vehicle off of Old Wheat Street. Darlene Cheney, Cornelius' sister, says they're taking his body by City Hall in a horse-drawn carriage.
He's worthy of being known for more than a homeless man. Usually things such as a horse-drawn carriage, they draw attention. They let it be known, oh, he was somebody went the extra mile.
Attorney Mawali Davis says they hope Taylor's death leads to change.
It's this family's hope that Cornelius Taylor impacts Atlanta and the world.
Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
And the Atlanta City Council also considering legislation today to put a pause on homeless encampment clearings. Let's take a look at the markets right now. The Dow down 628 points, so the Dow's down almost 1.5%. NASDAQ's down more than 2%, and the S&P's down almost 2% here in the 10 o'clock hour. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Good morning, Sabrina. Another morning means road work. It's already set up out there, causing a few delays on the East Freeway. Look out for crews working on I-20 eastbound before Wesley Chapel Road. They're out in that left lane, and also delays on North Side Drive. It's been pretty tough headed northbound road work at Collier. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly sunny today, high near 70. That's about 15 degrees above average for today. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, morning low 50, afternoon high 75.
It's 50 degrees right now in Canton, 49 in Snellville, and Dunwoody has 48 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WS&B. The whole gang with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Your boy Blue screens them calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Eric Erickson is going to join us live. With Eric, we're going to go in depth on the tariff situation, the Senate confirmation, and Elon Musk and USAID. Coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to someone from Bloomberg News about that Musk USAID story, and Deborah's got a bunch of tickets to give away. I want to start off, though, with ABC correspondent Sam Sweeney. Sam, good morning. Thanks for your time. We got off the air Friday night, a tragic plane crash in Philadelphia. Take us through the weekend about that crash, where the investigation is, and what we know this morning.
Well, investigators right now are trying to piece together exactly how this happened. They are methodically going through this Northeast Philadelphia neighborhood and looking for any evidence, any remains of this aircraft. We have seen pieces of the airplane scattered more than a quarter of a mile from the impact zone, which looks like a war zone. This is a massive crater in the middle of the road. This plane hit with extreme force, falling from the sky at more than 11,000 feet per minute, and now they have to try to figure out why it crashed. They recovered the black box. It was 8 feet below the ground, and that cockpit voice recorder, if they are able to extract the data from that, if it's not heavily damaged, will help them lead them to some clues about what happened.
Yeah, this medical transport jet crashed after, just under a minute after takeoff from the Northeast Philadelphia airport. Who was on board, and what was the type of plane that was involved in this crash?
It was in the air roughly just over 40 seconds when it nosedived for what we don't know why. There were 6 people on board, a paramedic, a doctor, 2 pilots, and then a young patient, an 11-year-old child who had just been treated at Shriners Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. She was traveling with her mother. They were headed back to Mexico. They had come to the U.S. for care on this medical transport jet. They were stopping in Missouri for fuel. This was a Learjet 55. It was more than 40 years old, which does sound old and would raise some flags there. But if you maintain an aircraft correctly, you can fly them forever. So that's what the NTSB is going to be looking at. How well was this maintained? What did the maintenance records say? What is the company saying about this? Who are these pilots? What is their history? Where were they in the days prior to this event? They are going to look at everything to try to figure out what happened here so they can prevent it from happening again.
Sam Sweeney, ABC News, joining us on the Mark Aram Show. Sam, obviously this tragic crash in Philadelphia coming on the heels of that mid-air collision in D.C. NTSB, do they have the capabilities to investigate both crashes, or will they be thinned out a little bit personnel-wise?
They say they have the ability to do both crashes. They had teams in Philadelphia. The chair of the NTSB was there briefing the very next day. We've now been told she's back in Washington, and we do expect another NTSB briefing from D.C. later on this afternoon on the crash there. The family members were able to visit the site yesterday, and they hope to begin the salvage work of getting that aircraft fuselage and the remaining bodies out of the water later today.
Yeah, in that D.C. crash, most of the wreckage went into the Potomac River. Not the case in Philadelphia. What's the situation on the ground? Was there damage? Was anyone hurt? Was anyone killed on the ground in Philly?
In Philly, one person was killed on the ground. They were in a car. Several people remain in the hospital, and 3 of those people are in critical condition. This was a massive fireball. Remember, it was loaded with fuel for this long trip back. They were going to make another fuel stop in Missouri, and when it hit the ground, it just exploded like a bomb. Neighbors there described it like a missile. A number of row homes in the area on fire. It was also across the street from a strip mall. There was damage there, fire there, and of course a number of cars on fire. It just charred throughout this major intersection.
Final question for you, Sam, and I know it's early on in the investigation, but in the D.C. crash, we had conjecture and theories. Was it pilot error? Was it air traffic control? The fact that this happened so quickly after takeoff, I don't even know if the investigation is going anywhere, but just looking for a cause at all at this point?
There is nothing. They're going to look at everything, and there's no speculation right now. I mean, it was poor weather, but generally poor weather doesn't make a twin-engine jet with 2 pilots on board fall out of the sky as it takes off from an airport. Temperatures were above freezing, but there was some light rain in the area. They're going to look at everything. It could be anything from, an issue with the oxygen tanks on board to a catastrophic mechanical failure with this airplane. They simply just don't know yet.
Yeah, I know you'll keep us posted. Sam Sweeney, ABC News. Sam, as always, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You know what's so remarkable about living in 2025? Have you guys seen the video of the Philadelphia plane crash?
Oh, yeah.
It's just horrific. But there are so many videos of it. We live in an age right now where there are video cameras everywhere. I'm looking at a couple,
right here, yeah.
But just, the DC crash, there was like 14 different video angles. People on cell phones, security cameras, which are rolling 24/7. It's kind of remarkable. I don't know. I mean, for investigations, for crime, the Ring doorbell cameras, right? Those are game changers. I mean, there's a lot of benefit to it, but I'm full disclosure. I'm watching all these CIA shows like The Agency or whatever, and they use this technology to track people, to recruit. Like anywhere you go in public, there are cameras, so there's, the privacy concerns, but it's kind of remarkable. Like if that crash happened, the Philly crash happened 20 years ago, we probably wouldn't have any video of it. The DC one probably wouldn't have any video of it. I mean, it's a double-edged sword like most things, but pretty remarkable. All the visions, different angles we had. That Philly crash was just phenomenally horrific, just a huge fireball. I do want to update the DC crash, the investigation there. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News transportation correspondent. The wreckage of the American Airlines flight that crashed Wednesday could be pulled out of the Potomac. Why do I have such a mental block on that word? Potomac as soon as today. Crews recovered 11 more bodies over the weekend as officials revealed new details from the investigation.
Under a massive police escort, the families of the 67 people killed in Wednesday's mid-air collision gathered within sight of the wreckage just off one of the runways at Washington's Reagan National Airport Sunday.
I was hoping he was on another flight, but when we put all the pieces together, it was obvious that it was him.
Tim Lilly's son Sam was the co-pilot on Flight 5342. He was engaged to be married.
I want to thank the first responders that got out there in the night with the water that was freezing, and the people that they were pulling out that were, they were just trying to recover our loved ones for us.
Crews spent the weekend positioning cranes and other key equipment to begin removing the wreckage.
Our goal is to really lift as much as we can, given the fact that we are also accounting for the human remains component.
55 bodies have been recovered as NTSB investigators say black box data indicates the airliner was flying at around 325 feet ahead of the collision. That's well higher than the 200 feet set by the FAA for helicopter traffic in that area.
Investigation ongoing. Any further developments on either air disaster, we will bring them to you live here on 95.5 WSB. Wall Street having a tough one. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all down over 1%. In fact, NASDAQ's down over 2%. Crypto Bros struggling as well. Bitcoin's down almost a full percent. Dogecoin down 3.7%. And Ethereum down almost 10%. Crazy day on Wall Street. When we come back, Texas, the whole state, bans DeepSeek. What does that mean going forward? Next on the Mark Arum Show.
Traffic hits.
Raining pretty heavy. Crash still on the right lane. 85 northbound Hamilton.
Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Parking for a long, slow ride to I-20. And your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Not often we can say this, but 285 is looking great.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
There's a hidden cost we pay in Georgia. It shows up at the store when you call a ride, buy car insurance. Georgia's broken tort system is making everything more expensive, costing every Georgia household more than $5,000 a year, all while families are still struggling with inflation. Unfair laws in Georgia are driving up the cost of doing business, and you're paying for it. If you're tired of high costs, tell Georgia legislators to pass common sense tort reform now. Brought to you by Protecting American Consumers Together.
Guys, it's Mark Aaron back with you, and I want to tell you about a real solution to hair loss from my good friends at Advanced Hair. What makes them different? Well, they combine science and technology to give you back your own natural growing hair. This is not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven, guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it is currently gone. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time, and Advanced Hair is the place. It just takes one visit, but first you're going to need a free consultation. I want you to schedule now. Call them, 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR, or go to advancedhair.com, and if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow.
You get up every morning and make it all work. You make the hospitals and the labs work. You keep the shelves stocked, the cash registers ringing, the production lines producing. At Vestas, we have the uniforms and workplace supplies you need to do what you do every day. When you think uniforms, floor mats, first aid kits, restroom supplies, think Vestas. Vestas, uniforms and workplace supplies for the people who make it all work. Learn more at Vestas.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about weed charges coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. 800-935-6077. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're turning 65, new to Medicare, or recently moved, Humana might just have the health plan you're looking for. Our Medicare Advantage plans offer coverage and care you can count on, along with guided support to help you feel your best. Plus, you can speak to a licensed sales agent at no cost to you, who can help you understand your options and choose the Medicare Advantage plan that best fits your needs. You could get a plan with a $0 premium, or an all-in-one plan that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. When it comes to the benefits and support you need, Humana Medicare Advantage plans are made for your well-being and your wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
10:18 on the Mark Aram Show, checking delays downtown. Live with the latest, here's Ashley Frasca.
Thanks, Mark. Just on and off the brakes as you travel connector southbound through Midtown, trying to get past William Street. Got some slow traffic through the work zone on North Side Drive at Collier, and also out east on I-20 eastbound. Crews working before Wesley Chapel in the left lane. Traffic brought to you by Rapid Radio's instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with national LTE coverage. Get 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Don McLean's hit song, American Pie. This song was written about a plane crash, ironically enough. 66 years ago today, rock and roll stars Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly were killed, along with pilot Roger Peterson, when their plane crashed near Clear Lake, Iowa. I am surprised you came to work today, Longoria. That's the stoicism that we pay for.
Not my Richie.
One of the worst days in Longoria history.
Yeah.
The death of Richie. Not my Richie.
Not my Richie.
God, that's such a good movie.
That is a good movie.
I gotta. Can we get Esai Morales on?
I would love Esai.
Yeah,
Morales.
I don't think we can get the main
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, Lou, I think
I don't know what's he doing.
maybe.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything in a while.
Yeah, if we can get Esai and Lou Diamond, that's such a good movie. Movies of the 80s were just great. One of the greatest 80 movies was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We all agree on that, right? Phenomenal
Absolutely,
movie.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. I've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off 100 times. Love that movie. It's a near perfect movie. And embedded in that movie are lessons of history, about life, about love. But I didn't realize how relatable and how important that movie is, reflecting on what we're dealing with this morning concerning the tariffs. Take it away, Ben Stein.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the anyone? The Great Depression, passed the the tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which raised or lowered, raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today, we have a similar debate over this. Anyone know what this is, class? Anyone?
He should have won an Oscar for that role. And you know, like, that teacher was based on someone's real, like, whoever wrote the screenplay based that teacher on one of their real life teachers.
I loved my economics teacher in my economics class, and I just remember seeing that movie, and when I had to finally take it, I'm like, oh, this class is going to suck.
Yes.
And it wasn't, but yeah, that's what I thought it would be.
Anyone? Voodoo economics. Anyone?
Yes,
Anyone?
Something economics, voodoo economics.
Such a great movie. Oh my God, amazing. Anyway, we learned about it. At least subconsciously, you knew about tariffs because of Ben Stein and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now, on a serious note, the question I have on the tariffs is, and I asked this to Rory in the first segment, 25% on our two of our closest allies, Canada and Mexico. Yet China, who we have an adversarial relationship with, only gets a 10% tariff. I want the president to expound on that. Why did they get a break when our allies got hit with 25% a pop? Especially because obviously there is animosity between the United States and these Chinese internet companies, right? TikTok, we know about TikTok. Now, DeepSeek came on we covered this story, I guess, last week on the show. This new Chinese AI company that apparently is doing so much with so little, costs so, on the heels of the TikTok ban and then the pause on the ban. Now Texas, I'm assuming this is Governor Abbott making this call, Texas is banning DeepSeek, the Chinese AI company. What's the story behind this, and is this, a real ban?
All right, so this is kind of like how they did it here, I believe. You can't have DeepSeek, Red Note, which is kind of the offshoot to TikTok, or Lemon8. Those are all Chinese owned apps. You can't have any of those on any government-issued devices. So, like, if your work phone, if you were a government employee and that
Gotcha.
was your work phone, you can't have any of those. Now, if you want to put it on your personal phone, I guess they can't really stop you,
Sure.
but other than like, hey, you can't have it here at work. So that's
we have that in Georgia, right? With
that's what I
TikTok.
said. Didn't it happen here in Georgia?
Yeah, I think Governor Kemp signed that, where if you have a work phone and you work for the government, you couldn't have TikTok on your phone. I mean, listen, that's people are calling this a trade war. I'm not calling it a war yet, right? We're not there. This is a battle. We're not to war status yet. I mean, it doesn't look great right now, but listen, the way that President Trump moves, this thing could be over Wednesday morning. And this truly wasn't a good. So I'm not calling it a trade war yet. It's a trade skirmish. If it's still going on 6 months from now and the European Union is involved and South America is involved, all right, then I'll call it a trade war. I think it's a little premature to call this a war. It's a skirmish right now. Mitch McConnell, I played that earlier audio. Kentucky apparently is going to be hit with these tariffs, the retaliatory tariffs. I guess Canada is the biggest importer of Kentucky bourbon, whiskey, whatever they make. Jennifer Perry would know. She's from Kentucky. I mean, if this goes on, it does become a war, it could, be a significant impact economically. I just don't understand. I need an answer why only 10% on China. Is it just because we get so much stuff and we sell so much stuff in them? But I mean, two of our biggest trade partners are Canada and Mexico. I don't know. I don't know. We don't get eggs though, right? Eggs are still a thing. They had no eggs. Mine did Instacart this weekend.
They had no eggs, right? At Publix?
Yeah.
We're shopping as a place.
Well, no, so she asked for Happy Eggs, which is the preferred egg of the Mark Aram household. They do taste better. And the Instacart shopper was like, they don't have them. And didn't say like, hey, do you want regular eggs? Mine would have been like, I'll take, so she had to go back and get them. Avocado is still a thing.
They're going to get more expensive
Yeah, I
this
know.
week.
Yeah.
We have to stock up today.
I'm eating the ones at the house. I told everybody, like, we're eating these. Don't
Yes.
let them go bad.
Yes.
They are not going bad. These are gold.
Is there an avocado substitute? Something you could,
No.
like a kiwi?
Kiwi.
Just, salt the kiwi up.
I mean, if it weren't so hard to grow an avocado tree, I would have planted it already, yeah.
Takes 7 years to get an avocado off of it.
Really?
One
Why didn't you plant that for
You
your
can't
wife?
plant them here in
You can't
Georgia.
plant them here.
What's illegal?
No,
They don't
they
grow.
don't grow.
And they don't grow
They
well
die
well
because of the
inside.
freezing, yeah.
I actually thought about this yesterday. 'cause
Trust me, I've tried.
I was outside. The weather was so nice this week. I was outside, and I was like, I wonder if I could plant coffee beans out here and grow my own coffee.
Sure.
Well, I can get some of that volcanic ash that Chandler talks about. That way I can, inflation-proof, tariff-proof myself for my coffee intake. Speaking of which, I got to get another cup. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. She's going to update the markets, how they're doing right now on the tariff news. When we come back, going in depth with Eric Erickson, Senate nomination, tariffs, Elon Musk, going to pick his brain live next on the Mark Aram Show.
Hey, how's your HVAC system working these days? Is it keeping you warm? Kind of, maybe, not really. Like, oh hey, this must be how the meat and seafood feel at the supermarket. Castile Heating feels you. We want you warm and comfortable. Our same-day HVAC service will slap that chill into next year. And if it's a new installation you need, Castile's flexible payment options, warranties, and rebates will get your comfort situation going from frozen meats to freshly baked in no time. Book today at CastileAir.com.
Football season and True Atlanta Fashion Renters Warehouse going big by stuffing 24 football puns in one ad. Hope your radio's got good reception, folks. Now huddle up and listen to their pitch. If you manage your own rental property, time out, time to sack yourself and bring in backups, because giving the ball to Renters Warehouse Atlanta a much better option. Tired of fumbling around, playing defense, and penalizing your family by working overtime? They've got the playbook for success. So just hand off your property management to them and kick back while they tackle the grunt work. Their special teams know how to handle the details and help you avoid the unnecessary roughness of managing a rental. They'll screen your tenants, make sure you receive the rent on time, and help you move maintenance calls to the sidelines. One extra point: once you see how Renters Warehouse Atlanta makes property management a snap, your happiness will spike. Don't take a knee. Take control. Go to rwatlanta.com today or call 404-662-2322. That's 404-662-2322. And that is good for Renters Warehouse Atlanta.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. The red ink is flowing on Wall Street this morning after investors on the markets joined concerns around the world over the pending U.S. tariffs on China, Mexico, and Canada. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
U.S. stocks were lower on the opening after the announcement of new tariffs that are due to be enacted by the Trump administration.
Now, in early trading, the Dow was down more than 400 points. President Trump expected to speak with the leaders of China and Mexico at some point today, and those new tariffs go into effect tomorrow. 25% on goods from Canada and Mexico, 10% on Chinese products. Stacey Lynn now on what prices we could see going up.
The U.S. gets about 30% of lumber from Canada, so that means new home prices could rise. We also import a lot of agricultural products like meat and grains from them, so expect an increase there as well.
She says fresh produce like avocados, strawberries, and tomatoes imported from Mexico will get more expensive. Beer and tequila, too. Your weather for today, mostly sunny and 70 this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. In Gwinnett County, police have now charged a big rig driver in a hit-and-run accident that happened on January 28th. We are just getting this in. Investigators say the driver of that tractor-trailer, 31-year-old Christian Barrier of Alabama, was attempting to change lanes on I-85 near Pleasant Hill when he caused that crash, but he never stopped. The driver of the car impacted was not injured and called in the report to say it was a hit and run. Barrier turned himself in and has now been charged with hit and run, improper lane change, reckless driving, and reckless conduct. Georgia House Speaker John Burns will outline his school safety initiative at the state capitol today. The Republican has already indicated that he'd like to work on a statewide model allowing schools and other government agencies to share information on students. Lawmakers have focused on a number of initiatives focused on school safety since last year's deadly shooting in Barrow County at Appalachia High School. Governor Kemp has proposed $50 million in one-time school safety grants. Gerber is recalling its Soothe and Chew teething sticks because babies could choke on them. One baby ended up in the emergency room. The teething products came in 2 flavors, strawberry, apple, and banana. Gerber stressed that parents who purchase the chewing sticks should not feed those products to their children, and you can return them to where you bought them for a full refund. The products were distributed in 45 states, including here in Georgia. Workers at Topgolf's Alpharetta facility suing that venue for allegedly shortchanging them on pay.
The proposed class action claims that Topgolf USA failed to pay the legally required minimum wage because of improper tip handling. The workers say Topgolf improperly pooled their tips to share them with employees who are usually not tipped. The employees also say they were required to polish silverware, during which they cannot earn tips. And yet they say Topgolf claims a tip credit. The company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
Well, doing business in Clayton County may be a little bit harder today. The county is saying customers will have limited access to permitting, zoning, and licensing starting today. The reason is a system upgrade. Those upgrades should be completed, they say, by the end of the week and back up and running next week. All right, let's check your money on Wall Street. The Dow's down 242 at 44,302. NASDAQ is currently down more than a full percent percent, and the S&P is down a full percent here at 1033. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
We'll start with the good news. 285 circling the city is moving well in all directions, maybe picking up a new crash on Georgia 400 northbound at Holcomb Bridge, and you do have just a few brake lights leaving the east side of I-285 along I-20 eastbound because of that road work before Wesley Chapel that's taken out of the left lane. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high near 70, which is about 15 degrees above average for this afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, morning low 50, afternoon high 75.
52 degrees in Douglasville. Tucker has 54, and it's 52 right now in Johns Creek. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
You have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
We may have short-term some little pain, and people understand that, but long-term, the United
We know
States
how the markets are reacting to the Trump tariff news. How does Eric Erickson react to the Trump tariff news? He joins us live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Roof. Hey, it's Rufus the dog for Finley Roofing. You know Rufus. You see him on Finley Roofing trucks and billboards all over the metro area.
I'm famous.
Finley will come to your house and give your roof a thorough roof analysis for free. No obligation.
Free.
No charge.
Any questions?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Me.
How fast? Get your nose out of there.
Roof.
Finley Roofing. See him on the web at finleyroofing.com.
Roof.
This is Greg Trusinski from the Original Mattress Factory. I want to share the story of a couple I worked with recently. After receiving a quote from a competitor for a mattress, they visited OMF and found a mattress that was a great fit for them. They were so pleased with our quality and value that they ended up purchasing 2 mattresses, a box spring, headboard, and frame. Their total at OMF was roughly $400 less than what they would have spent on just the one mattress at the competitor. If you're ready to get better sleep for less, visit us at originalmattress.com.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. And retirement, protection, and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
And they don't take our cars, they don't take our farm products, they take almost nothing. And we take everything from them, millions of cars, tremendous amounts of food and farm
President
products.
Trump on the tarmac talking about the European Union. Will they be the next to get hit with tariffs? Joining us live to discuss the big news of the day. Joining us every Monday at this time, our buddy Eric Erickson. Eric, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
Before we get into the tariffs and Musk and all and the Senate confirmations, I was listening to your show on Friday, and I always do. I'm a loyal P1 listener, as they say. You had the call from the lady asking about the Venezuelan immigrants that were here under temporary protection status. You remember that call?
Yes.
So in the first hour of the show here, we had a local immigration attorney on, and I presented the situation that caller did, and you recommended she calls an immigration attorney. Again, it's a family from Venezuela. They're here legally, but they're about to lose that protection status. Your advice was get an immigration attorney. My immigration attorney agreed. Great advice. So
you know, this has happened. We've actually, I found out there's a local soccer coach here who has been in temporary status for like 20 years and has been offered citizenship and refused. said he didn't want to do it. Well, now he's having to go back to Venezuela, and he could have become a citizen and just chose not to.
Interesting. It was a great call and a great response too. So just to show you that I do listen, Eric.
Well, thank you.
All right, let's start with tariffs, my friend. Mexico and Canada 25%, China only 10%. People are calling it a trade war. If this goes 6 months, I'll call it a war. I'm calling it a skirmish right now. Your reaction to the tariffs, and why did China only get hit with 10%?
Yeah, China only got hit with 10 because the proximate cause of the fentanyl entry into the country is Mexico and Canada. By the way, as we are talking, there is some breaking news happening right now. The Mexican president saying she has talked to Donald Trump and begun negotiations on further securing the border, and he's agreed to postpone tariffs on Mexico. So he's definitely using this. If this is right, and it is her herself who has said this, that it is a negotiating tactic that makes people uncomfortable. If it lasts a long time, probably will have negative economic consequences, but I think a lot of people misunderstand tariffs. Long term, they can drag an economy down, but short term, it's almost like a sugar high. You do get a boost in revenue without actually seeing negative economic consequences. Those come later, and the sugar crash happens.
Eric Erickson joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. That was my hope, that even though the tariffs, we got to go ahead this weekend, that it was still part of the ongoing negotiation process, right? Using the United States economic might as leverage, trying to get what we need from our trade partners. And that's still my hope. And if that's true from the Mexican president, then that this truly was a campaign promise and a negotiating tool.
Yeah, very much so. And we'll see if it lasts. You know, the Canadians, though, don't want to look bullied, particularly the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on his way out the door. Pierre Poilievre, who is the conservative leader there, this is hurting him. Trump had the opportunity to get a great partner in Canada, but this is actually making the Liberals in Canada rebound in their polling, having Donald Trump in office bullying Canada.
Yeah, I heard this over the weekend, Eric. In Toronto, booing the American national anthem at an NHL game. It seems like Canadians united in this trade war against the United States, pulling products off the market already.
Yeah, they do not look like they want to be bullied, and they're probably not going to give the same concessions that Mexico gives. And Canada actually has something Mexico doesn't. We get a significant import of natural gas for northern states, including some of the swing states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. In fact, all of the power companies there notified consumers this morning to expect an increase in energy prices because Canada is reciprocating, and of course, Donald Trump's already imposed a 10% tariff.
How is fentanyl coming in from the northern border? I just assumed it would be coming in from the southern border, but it's a problem on the north side as well?
It actually is. We have the largest unsecured border with Canada of any nations on earth, and there has been an uptick in illegal immigration coming across from Canada. People fly in, and actually there's a lot of Asian immigrants, and the speculation is that the northern state fentanyl problem is coming in from these unsecured parts on the Canadian border.
Interesting. Obviously, all right, so Eric broke the news there. We'll see if there are any developments on the tariff situation. Maybe the EU is next. Hopefully, though, this is just a trade skirmish, not a trade war, and just part of the negotiations. I really need your help on this story, Eric, because this caught me off guard. The fate of the U.S. Agency for International Development. Elon Musk tried to do what? Explain this story to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
We don't really quite understand. So there are people inside the White House who work for this group Donald Trump has set up, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, which is a presidentially appointed committee, much, by the way, like USAID is. And they have gone into USAID and tried to get access to their servers to pause pre-program spending and appropriations. Members of USAID refused and were suspended from office. The media says this is Elon Musk getting access to the computers, which isn't really true. It's actually employees within the executive branch trying to pause computer programs that just dole out money on pre-programmed schedules. I gotta say, as someone who grew up overseas and is very familiar with USAID, it's a presidentially created group that can be suspended by the president. Congress really didn't create it, and it's actually not needed. It's become a waste.
Does Congress fund it, though? Because that it leads to the question, Congress controls the purse strings. Does President Trump, Elon Musk, DOGE, department, do they have the capability to shut off that faucet even if the money's been approved by Congress?
So this is part of the problem, is if Congress approves appropriations, they can't stop it. That's well-settled law. The question is, some of these things are blanket foreign aid disbursements, and USAID structures how they're going to go. If it's structured by the executive of how the money is going to be spent, then the money can be paused. If it's structured by Congress how the money is going to be spent, they can't pause it. Part of the problem with USAID is that a lot of the money it's a block grant of money to the executive, spend this on foreign aid, decide how, so the president has some leeway on pausing that spending.
Gotcha. Relatedly, two sources said that DOJ personnel wanted to access classified information, which only those with security clearances and a specific need to know are able to access. Elon Musk, did he have to go through any background check? Does he have high-level security clearances?
No, and that's part of the problem here, but this is also kind of good for Donald Trump because Elon Musk has become the focus. So if this does blow up in their face, Elon Musk is the fall guy, not Donald Trump.
I want to turn to Senate confirmations, Eric, and I saw this conspiracy theory over the weekend that when President Trump came out with that press conference talking about DEI and raising questions about the cause of that helicopter crash into the plane in D.C., that it was nothing but a distraction to get away from what have been pretty bad Senate confirmation hearings. First of all, do you think that's a valid thought that he just used that press conference to distract everybody? And how are those Senate confirmations going?
Look, I don't think it was a distraction. I mean, it was a major news issue, and people were immediately rushing to blame Trump for a pause in FAA hirings. So he wanted to push back with the DEI stuff. It was legitimate, but those Senate confirmations didn't go well. The Tulsi Gabbard one and the RFK one, they were not well received, even by some Republicans on Capitol Hill, Gabbard in particular. There's no public vote in the Senate Intelligence Committee, so she may lose Republicans. We'll never know who they are and just not get out of committee. And then Kennedy, the Bill Cassidy's closing statements made it sound like he can't bring himself to vote for Kennedy, which could hurt Kennedy with other Republicans.
Kash Patel is to me the intriguing one. I understand Trump loyalist, but he's been on 1,000 TV and radio shows and podcasts. He's got a book out that the senators can pull clips from. The question I have is, I understand the president likes to repay loyalty, certainly understand that, but are there no long-serving conservative folks in the FBI that would be way more qualified for that post than Kash Patel?
The problem is Trump doesn't trust any of them, and he wants someone he trusts. He trusts Kash Patel, rightly or wrongly, and it looks like he's probably going to have the votes to get through Senate confirmation to be able to be the actual FBI director.
Interesting. All right, so you think he will get confirmed?
Yeah, I think he's more likely to get confirmed than Tulsi Gabbard.
Interesting. Eric, what's coming up on the show today, brother?
We're going to start with the tariffs, of course, then move into the DNC this weekend. There's a wild story from the New York Times. They have no clue what their message should be, and yet they've decided 2024 was because of racism and misogyny, not because of Joe Biden.
Clown car right now, right? DNC.
Yes.
I mean, there's no clear message. There's just no. Not an ideal position to be. Eric, I'm listening. I'm on my way home, noon to 3, across these fruited plains, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thanks for your time. All right, quick break. We're going to update the breaking news that Eric just did there, coming from the Mexican president, maybe negotiating the relief of those tariffs. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
All lanes being held, 575 north at Highway 92, exit 7.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Officials diverting you onto Mansell Road.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, home, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
It starts as a nuisance and you just put up with it, but then that awful joint pain impacts everything in your life. Walking, climbing stairs, even getting in and out of the car hurts. Hey, it's Mark Aaron. Talking about that always there joint pain in your knee, hip, shoulder, and back. But there's good news. QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. Long-term relief now possible. At QC Kinetics, their regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetic patients would tell you, don't wait, make the call today. Talk to the local medical pros. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. Look, joint pain does not get better with time, so before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day. The day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
7:52 on the Mark Aram Show. Oh no, trouble up and through the Norcross area. Live with the latest, Ashley Frasca.
And what worries me about this crash, Mark, folks are standing outside their vehicles. That's never a good idea. It's on 85 southbound, right before Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Look out for that crash to be in the second lane from the left. And construction delays. North Side Drive at Collier's, utility crews work there, and along I-20 eastbound, taking out the left lane between 285 and Wesley Chapel. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Ashley, happy National Bird Feeding Month.
Yes, right?
I'm so excited.
You, as my producer, informed me that that's a month.
Yeah, well, thanks to Ace Hardware, that they informed me with a booklet of coupons that arrived at my door. Speaking of arriving at the door, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. Our dear beloved friend Edie, it's her birthday today, Longoria. Actually, it was yesterday. I'm not going to reveal her age. But instead of getting gifts, she brought us a strawberry banana cake that Blue just took out to the newsroom. So happy birthday, Edie. Phenomenal stuff. All right, breaking news from Eric Erickson. That was pretty cool. Talking about the Mexican president talking to President Trump, and apparently a temporary pause on the tariffs that were set to go in effect in just a little bit. In fact, we can get confirmation from CNN and Phil Mattingly.
We have breaking news on the news that has been rattling markets throughout the morning. You see Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, on your screen right now, just now announcing that after a phone call with President Trump, there has been an agreement to delay the 25% tariff that Trump slapped on the country. It was expected to take effect at midnight in just about 12, 13 hours from now. That has now been delayed for a month in exchange for Mexico, according to Sheinbaum, sending 10,000 members of its National Guard to help secure the border, as well as a U.S. commitment to help and work on trafficked high-powered weapons. Now, we are still waiting to hear from the White House about this. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had a call this morning with President Trump, did not say anything about any delay. He's expected to have another call this afternoon. We will continue to monitor the breaking news. This is obviously a critical potential delay being announced by the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, again, in exchange for 10,000 members of Mexico's National Guard going to help secure the border in exchange for the U.S. Helping or working on.
All right, so there you go. There's CNN's Phil Mattingly confirming the news that Eric broke on the show. I guess Eric's getting star of the show. I love the fact that the Mexican president is a Jewish lady, that the Claudia Sheinbaum. So 30-day pause. So there you go. At the beginning of the show, I said, is this truly tariffs or just more negotiation? At least in the case of U.S. v. Mexico, it was a negotiation tactic by President Trump. Eric seems to think, and I agree, that Canada is going to be dug in a little stronger than Mexico on this, but we'll certainly monitor that. But breaking news there, 30-day pause on the tariffs that were set to just about take place against Mexico. And the markets are reacting favorably to that news, Deborah. Earlier, NASDAQ was down almost 3%, now only down 1%. The Dow just down 0.34%. So Wall Street immediately reacting to the announcement there from the Mexican president. We'll bring you more information. Before we step away from news, weather, traffic, I do want to get an update on the negotiations of the second stage of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Our buddy Linda Gradstein has more from Jerusalem.
The first phase of the ceasefire, which began 16 days ago, will see the release of 33 Israeli hostages, some of whom have already been freed, and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Large amounts of aid has also started to enter Gaza. The second stage includes a permanent ceasefire, the release of all of the remaining live hostages for more Palestinian prisoners, and a complete withdrawal of all Israeli forces.
That's Linda Gradstein in Jerusalem. While things seem to have settled down there in Gaza, apparently things are getting heated on the West Bank. Hopefully not so severely that it will delay the further implementation, Aram, Potomac River, of the peace deal, which seems to be doing well. I still don't understand the calculus that you release 3 hostages, like innocent people that were taken hostage and held for over 400 days, and released for 100 prisoners that were arrested for. I still don't know how that arithmetic works. We'll follow the situation there. We got to update the plane crashes, the tariffs, the stock market, Elon Musk's role in USAID. So much more to come. Deborah's got tickets to give away, and of course, we are always active on social media. Not on DeepSeek. Well, I got Gronk. Deborah Turman. No, Grok.
Grok,
Not Gronk. Grok is amazing. I do love that. But we're not on DeepSeek. Anyway, social media is at Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and the HD1 doorbell. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Anything better when the temperature's dropping, it's freezing outside, and you're nice and toasty inside? I can't wait. Hey, it's Mark Arum, back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing furnace offer going on right now. $59.99 a month. That's it for any size furnace. And ask about their clean air upgrades. Stay warm and toasty with my friends at Reliable Air. Schedule your free consultation today by visiting reliableair.com. That's reliableair.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
There's a hidden cost we pay in Georgia. It shows up at the store when you call a ride, buy car insurance. Georgia's broken tort system is making everything more expensive, costing every Georgia household more than $5,000 a year, all while families are still struggling with inflation. Unfair laws in Georgia are driving up the cost of doing business, and you're paying for it. If you're tired of high costs, tell Georgia legislators to pass common sense tort reform now. Brought to you by Protecting American Consumers Together.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi there, good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G Network. We do have breaking news that's just in. Tariffs on Mexico will now be halted for a month. The Mexican president speaking with President Trump this morning. Jason Allen has more.
President Claudia Sheinbaum posting this morning the big headline out of this, that tariffs, according to Mexico, have now been paused for up to a month. This is after Mexico and the United States had some ongoing conversations about these tariffs that were set to go into effect.
Now, word is Mexico will now be sending 10,000 troops to help secure the border. Many economists and financial experts say consumers and U.S. manufacturers will end up paying more for many things if President Trump's tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China go into effect. Mostly sunny today and 70. It's going to be gorgeous, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. The funeral for a homeless man who was killed during the clearing of an Atlanta encampment is getting underway this hour. Family members are now calling for change.
The services for Cornelius Taylor are happening at Ebenezer Baptist Church. That's after he was crushed by an Atlanta Public Works vehicle off of Old Wheat Street. Darlene Cheney, Cornelius' sister, says they're taking his body by City Hall in a horse-drawn carriage.
He's worthy of being known for more than a homeless man. Usually things such as a horse-drawn carriage, they draw attention. They let it be known, oh, he was somebody. Somebody went the extra mile.
Attorney Mawali Davis says they hope Taylor's death leads to change.
It's this family's hope that Cornelius Taylor impacts Atlanta and the world.
Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The Atlanta City Council also considering legislation today to put a pause on homeless encampment clearings. One person is dead, another critically injured in a series of crashes that impacted the morning commute on I-85.
The wrecks involve a total of 4 cars on I-85 near Chamblee Tucker Road. It starts with a single car crash. The driver exits the vehicle and a second motorist stops to help. Moments later, a third vehicle strikes the wrecked vehicle and both drivers in the roadway. A fourth vehicle then is caught up in the wreckage and also crashes. The driver of the first car is pronounced dead at the scene. The Good Samaritan now hospitalized in critical condition. No word yet on possible charges in an ongoing investigation. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A Metro Atlanta High School graduate identified now as one of the victims of that mid-air collision in Washington, D.C. 53-year-old Lieutenant Colonel Brian Ellis was a former star quarterback on his football team at Morrow High School.
He was also a graduate of the Naval Academy. The Baltimore Banner says Ellis was a passenger on the American Airlines jet that plunged into the Potomac River after colliding with a military helicopter. He most recently lived in Virginia. Ellis leaves behind 2 sons.
And WSB Cheryl Castro reports 2 others with Georgia ties were previously announced among the dead, a first officer on the American Airlines flight and the Black Hawk helicopter's crew chief. This is new this hour. The governor's office just now announcing a new business plans to bring its headquarters to Roswell. PBS Aerospace designs and manufacturing turbojet engines. The headquarters will be located on North Meadow, and a new facility is going to be built at the Tech Village North site in Roswell. Hiring already underway for about 100 positions. It's expected to be fully operational in April. Let's take a look at the markets. They were way down earlier, recovering just a bit. The Dow still down 123 at 44,421. So the Dow is down slightly. NASDAQ is down 1%, and the S&P is down now just 0.5%. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Actually, Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Not good out of Duluth into Norcross. Crash was in a left center lane. Now in multiple left center lanes. 85 southbound before Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. Hero police on scene trying to untangle this. You're jammed up as you leave Pleasant Hill Road. You can use Buford Highway as an alternate. Elsewhere, you got that left lane construction, the I-20 eastbound collector distributor ramp into cab between 285 and Wesley Chapel. That slows 285 east to northbound, the outer loop back at Flat Shoals, exit 48. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly sunny today, high near 70. That's about 15 degrees above average for today. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, morning low 50, afternoon high 75.
57 degrees in Sandy Springs. It's 61 in Fairburn. Loganville has 56 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
11:04 on this breaking news, fast-moving Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, Deborah has a cornucopia of tickets to give away. She raided the prize closet to your benefit. Justin Gray from Channel 2 is going to join us. Going to talk to Greg Corte from Bloomberg News about the USAID story. But updating the breaking news we got from Eric Erickson live here on the show. Tariffs on Mexico have been paused for 1 month. Stacey Lynn's at the White
On
House.
Truth Social, Donald Trump confirmed he spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. He called it a very friendly conversation and said they agreed to pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month. She agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border. Those soldiers, he said, will specifically be designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country.
So it appears, at least in Mexico's case, that this was indeed a negotiating tactic. The Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum came to the table. They negotiated a 1 month pause on said tariff. So we'll see what Canada, the EU, etc., China have to do. But that was my best hope. My hope was that this was just a negotiation tactic and would not we will not see a full-on trade war. We'll obviously monitor that. The market's very happy with that news. The market they're still down across all of them, but they've shot up since the Mexican president made that announcement, and President Trump confirmed it on Truth Social. Do you have a Truth Social account there, Justin Gray?
I am not on Truth Social.
Me neither.
I've added, what are the others? Threads, Blue Sky.
Yeah.
X.
I'm going to follow you on Blue Sky. I've been on Blue Sky, but there's no traction.
Yeah, I've got like 50 followers.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Justin, good to see you. Good morning. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning. I just ran downstairs.
Yes,
here.
thank you for that.
Yeah,
I mean, we're covering the breaking news, so we got to slide the chess pieces around the board. But I'm so glad to talk to you face to face as you are going to preview an explosive piece on Channel 2 Action News.
Yeah, these are the stories that really just sort of make me mad. It's people taking advantage of people who have very little. This one was promising people hardship grants. So just by the nature of that, these are people. We talked to a woman whose son was dying of cancer. His insurance wasn't covering the treatments. A woman who was in a car accident, got injured, couldn't work. So these are people who didn't have very much. This woman took some money that they did have, making very big promises.
So a hardship grant, I know the term, but I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole idea, right? The short answer is nothing really existed. But I think people were so used to, with all the things that have been out there, we had PPP loans, we had, the checks, so there was so much sort of money out there that people got in their head, hey, maybe there could be this money for me going through something terrible.
So this alleged scamster reached out to this woman who needed, was going through hardship, right? Hardship grant.
Yeah, they reached out to not just one person. We've talked to at least 24 of them ourselves. I know there's probably a lot more than that, but I know our producer Justin Crate, went through a spreadsheet and talked to literally dozens of people who all had the exact same experience.
So anytime I guess I got to keep saying alleged scam, or is this officially a scam?
The lawyers are going to call from down the street if you don't say alleged scam.
So, all right. So obviously, when there's a scam, there's got to be a benefit to the alleged scammer here. Promising you grants, if this isn't giving away too much of the story, where's the scam part aside from not getting the grant? How did the alleged person get benefit of this?
And this probably should have been a red flag for people, right? She was going to prepare these applications for them for a fee.
Oh,
and you know what? The more applications you do, the more money you can get. The more people you recommend, your friends, your family, hey, they need money too.
Yeah.
You get more money. So she was collecting these fees, promising to prepare these grants that a alleged nonprofit was going to hand out.
So collecting fees from people going through hardships that could probably not afford to pay the fees. How much money are we talking?
We're talking not huge amounts per person, but if every penny counts, it's a lot. You know, $400, $500, $600, which if you're down in the negative, like most of these people were, that's serious money, and it adds up to thousands and thousands of dollars that we have confirmed people have paid.
Yeah, I mean, your radar has to go up, especially when you are down and out and you're facing hardships. You really have to be hyper aware of the possibility that it's too good to be true.
Yeah, and just, ask all those questions, right? I mean, that's what we tell people in so many of these situations. Google is your friend. Be a very careful Googler. That's another one too, right? We have that problem, but just start looking up all the names, all the organizations. Make a phone call yourself, But you know what? This person was very good at that. She warned people, hey, if you call them yourself, you're going to mess it up. I've got my connection here. Don't you messed it up by trying to call that place. So people become good at this for a reason.
Yeah.
They're really good at making people believe them and really good at spinning a story.
Channel 2 Action News investigative reporter Justin Gray joining us live here in studio on the Mark Arum Show. I know in a lot of these, and you're out there, doing God's work, trying to prevent people from getting scammed, you often will work hand in hand with law enforcement. What's been the law enforcement reaction, if any, to these alleged scams?
We do know that FBI is aware of these scams. They won't say more than that. Okay. I think a lot of the issue when you're dealing with this with local police departments is if the dollar numbers are small, they don't always want to get involved. They're going to refer you to, a civil proceeding, but it's the scope of it. It's that it's not just one person, it's that it's dozens. So we're hoping people will see this. We know FBI is aware. We're hoping some other law enforcement agencies maybe will become aware as well.
All right. The special airs when, my friend?
It airs tonight at 5 on Channel 2 Action News.
5? Just 5? We can't squeeze you in the 4 and the 6 and the 11?
You're going to get my bosses excited here. Hey, I got another story at 6, though, people can tune in for. So they can see me at 5 and 6.
There you go. Justin Gray, so good to see you in person. I love that you come down and give us a face-to-face and preview these amazing stories.
Yeah, I always love to be here.
Can you hang out while we go to break? I got a tip for another story for you.
I love that.
There you go.
All right.
Just I'm just feeding you tips.
Hey.
Well, that's the thing. How many times over the years have I contacted you with a scam or a story? Because I know you're going to get to the bottom of it. So I've got one for you.
I can't wait.
All right. We're monitoring what's going on with the pause on the Mexican tariffs and this big story that popped up, USAID. Bloomberg News' Greg Corte joins us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia announces his resignation.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Some brake lights out of Cobb County I-20 eastbound.
We've got it covered.
The U.S. Surgeon General is warning about a link between alcohol and cancer.
Your 24/7 news source. Covering the stories that impact you. Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hey, it's Chris Chandler. Why not add something to the candy and flowers for Valentine's Day this year? Give your loved one the gift of clean by calling the carpet cleaning experts at Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. That's what I'm doing, and I cannot wait to get these guys into my home. I've learned that nobody can clean like Zerorez because only Zerorez cleans with patented electrolyzed water. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. You know what all that means? It means soft, fluffy carpets that stay clean longer. And right now, check out the Valentine's Day sale. Get 2 rooms of carpet clean for free with 2 rooms for $129 when you mention me, Chris Chandler. And don't just take my word for it either. They have more than 20,000 reviews with a 4.9 out of 5-star rating. Again, right now, get 2 rooms of carpet clean for free with 2 rooms for $129 when you mention me. Or easily schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Planning to propose this Valentine's Day? Shane Company has your back. Our easy process to create your dream engagement ring is rock solid. 1, pick your ring setting. 2, choose your center stone. 3, personalize it. With our wide selection of beautiful settings and hand-picked diamonds and gemstones, all at competitive prices, your ring will be as unique as your love story. We'll hand set your ring in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store and protect it with our free lifetime warranty. Walk in with the dream, walk out with the ring that will take their breath away. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Mercedes?
Check.
BMW?
Check.
Audi, Volkswagen?
Check.
Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and Lambo?
Check, check, and check. At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in providing full service for all luxury and European import vehicles. This is Rocco. Visit one of our 6 locations for top-notch customer service that includes upfront pricing, customer approval prior to us beginning work, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. All without voiding your car's manufacturer warranty. Online at roccoseuropeangarage.com.
It starts as a nuisance and you just put up with it, but then that awful joint pain impacts everything in your life. Walking, climbing stairs, even getting in and out of the car hurts. Hey, it's Mark Aaron. Talking about that always there joint pain in your knee, hip, shoulder, and back. But there's good news. QC Kinetics. Groundbreaking treatments for arthritis pain. Long-term relief now possible. At QC Kinetics, their regenerative treatments are sweeping the nation. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetic patients would tell you, don't wait, make the call today. Talk to the local medical pros. These new orthobiologic cellular therapies, including PRP treatments, can revitalize your joints without going under the knife. Look, joint pain does not get better with time, so before it's absolutely debilitating, see if you're a candidate for these life-changing regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026, 770-285-8026.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head-scratcher. Chris, how does so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
11:17 on the Mark Arum Show. Better news, I-85 at Norcross. Let's say hello and good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, they held all lanes for this crash. 85 southbound, Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. Got it off to the right. At times, they're holding the right lane so a tow truck can load up those vehicles. Bottom line, though, you're still slow from Beaver Ruin Road, Pleasant Hill area, but that should start to improve. Heads up in DeKalb County, got that left lane construction, the I-20 eastbound collector distributor ramp between 285 and Wesley Chapel Road. This report brought to you by Zinchi Handcrafted Sushi. Craving something fresh and flavorful? Discover Zinchi Handcrafted Sushi. High quality, affordable, and made fresh daily. Find Zinchi Sushi today at your local Publix markets, right by the seafood counter. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
11:18 on the Mark Arum Show, monitoring the trade skirmish, not going to call it a war, and the pause of the tariffs between the United States and Mexico. News that broke last hour here from the Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, confirmed by President Trump on social media. We'll continue to monitor that, and maybe even more importantly for you, an immediate impact, what Wall Street thinks about that pause of the Mexican tariffs. Another big story been discussing here on the show, Elon Musk and the Doge Department relating to USAID. Joining us live covering the story for Bloomberg News, it's Greg Cordy. Greg, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
I honestly, until yesterday, I'd never heard of USAID. I didn't know anything about it, but all of a sudden, this is a big story in the nation's capital.
Yeah, when you think about foreign aid, you're thinking about the U.S. Agency for International Development. It's somewhat obscure. People think of the State Department, our diplomats overseas, but the USAID does the work sort of on the ground, helping with, if you want to think of things like, AIDS in Africa, or getting micro businesses up and running in Southeast Asia, or democracy building programs in Eastern Europe. That's USAID. And, foreign aid has long been a kind of a bugaboo. It's people, Americans, if you poll them, they don't like the idea of their tax dollars going overseas to help other countries, but they also vastly overestimate the amount of money that we spend on that. All of that goes through USAID. The Musk forces went into the USAID headquarters over the weekend, essentially shut it down. Its website is dark. Employees are locked out physically of the building and also of their emails. And for all intents and purposes, USAID is not a functioning federal agency today.
How much money are we talking budgetarily with USAID?
Oh, I don't have the exact figure in front of me. It's probably, it's in the low billions. When we talk about billions, as Everett Dirksen said, the billion here, billion there. Pretty soon it all adds up. So I don't want to say that that's an insignificant amount of money. But in the grand scope of the federal budget, it's a very small slice of where your tax money goes to.
Greg Cordy, Bloomberg News, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Should not come as a shock, right? Campaign trail, Trump, Musk, they telegraphed what they were going to do when it comes to cutting financial mismanagement at the federal government. So this shouldn't come as a surprise. Now, is this next piece of the puzzle related to this USAID story, seeing that Musk and Doge and that department have access now to, or are trying to gain access to, our Social Security numbers, our direct deposits? Is that related to the story? Is that a separate story?
It's all part of the same theme in that Elon Musk, as you said, he's the world's richest man. He was the biggest supporter of Donald Trump's campaign, or at least the super PACs that helped get Trump elected last year, has now been put in charge of this office in the White House complex, and it's fanning out across the federal government. The first agencies really where we've heard of the Musk teams hitting the ground are USAID, we just mentioned, but also the Office of Personnel Management, which obviously does the sort of the HR function for the federal government, the General Services Administration, which is the landlord for a lot of federal agencies, and now Treasury. It's obviously Treasury is the key. Treasury controls the federal checkbook, and so the Doge teams have gone into the Treasury Department. They have sought and reportedly received access to these sensitive databases that include information, as you say, on tax return information, beneficiaries, the contractors, any money that comes in or out of the federal government goes to the Treasury Department. It's unclear exactly how broad and deep that access is, whether the Musk team has just read-only access so they can see, have some transparency in those payments, or if they actually have the ability to stop payments. But that's the end goal here for Musk, is he wants to be able to, as he put it on his social media site, to delete. He wants to vastly slim down the federal government, and he wants control of the mechanisms to pay people in order to do that.
So the Treasury Secretary granted Doge full access to the Treasury's payment system, Social Security, Medicare grants, payments to government contractors. Does that affect me or any of the listeners here in Metro Atlanta, the fact that Doge now has access to this information?
That is a little unclear at this point. There is a process for people to be cleared to be able to see this information. Obviously, government officials have had access to this information before. Musk is now part of the government. And he also, by the way, has this company that does artificial intelligence. So he has the capability to swoop up vast troves of federal government, plug it into his AI, and be able to draw conclusions from that. So if you are particularly concerned about the government's role in knowing everything about us and your privacy, yeah, maybe this is something that you would be concerned about. If you are a Social Security recipient and worried about whether your check is going to arrive in the mail this month, I suspect that it will. I don't expect that there will be any short-term repercussions for this. But one of the things that Musk is looking for is waste, fraud, and abuse. And that's, we've heard people in Washington talk about that for years, but it's a very difficult problem to solve, because the moment that you suspect somebody of fraud in, say, a federal benefits program, and you turn that off, it turns out there's no fraud. The person is alive and they are an eligible beneficiary. Then you have some political problems. So it's a really difficult tightrope to walk here, and Musk now owns that tightrope.
There you go. And I think on Friday, one of the top Treasury Department folks resigned over this.
Yeah, he was a career guy. He'd been in the Treasury Department for 30-plus years. He was the most senior career official at Treasury, and really, he's single-handedly created what's now called the Bureau of the Fiscal Service. He probably had more institutional knowledge about how these payment systems work than anyone else at Treasury. And so, yeah, one of the things, as we talk about the personnel aspect of this, and Musk offering buyouts to federal employees and encouraging federal employees to leave, there is a concern among some here in Washington. First of all, what that would do to the Washington economy, but also just the expertise, the know-how of how the government works that may be walking out the door, and might there be some problems? We saw last week with this plane crash that there's a shortage of air traffic controllers. There are a shortage of federal workers in some very key areas, but there's probably also some federal agencies that may be bloated, and that's what this Doge effort is supposed to all sort out.
Gregory Cordy, Bloomberg News. Thanks for the clarification on a very confusing story, my friend. Markets still reacting to everything going on. We'll update that. And our top local stories, news, weather, and traffic, next on 95.5 WSB.
That spot on the ceiling, it's only going to get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker from my experts at Finley Roofing, the roof guys. Finley now has 0% financing available, so it's even easier to get your roof replaced. FinleyRoofing.com. Roof.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. In a perfect world, when you have a plumbing issue, you want a plumber that answers the phone when you call, shows up on time, respects your home, and tells you exactly what needs to be done, quotes you a price, and does the job right the first time. They appreciate your business, and Superior Plumbing becomes your plumber for life. Call Superior Plumbing to come fix your plumbing issues.
Mark Karam here from my friends at Renters Warehouse. Fall is here. The kids back at school. Time to take a quiz. Question 1. If you already own a house with a low interest rate, what's the best way to get even more value from it? Answer, rent it out. Renting already delivers cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. Now it allows you to keep that low interest rate, and hey, you can always move back in if you want to. Question 2. With Renters Warehouse, do you have to find tenants, collect rent, or handle maintenance calls? No! Renters Warehouse does it all for you. That's why they're Atlanta's leading real estate investment services company. Final question. Do you pay Renters Warehouse a percentage of the rent or a low flat monthly fee? Answer, a low flat monthly fee. For just $115 a month, you can outsource all your management headaches to them. Now, to pass the test, I need you to do one more thing. Go to rwatlanta.com today, book your free home rental price analysis, or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Every single month that you wait to call Myland is just another month where you've likely paid more than you should have on your mortgage. This is Scott Slade. The time to act is now. Everything is moving in the right direction. You start saving on your mortgage. No matter your scenario, Myland has seen it. Reverse mortgages for you or your parents, specialty purchase programs, cash out refinances, second mortgages, rental properties, VA and FHA. Mortgages are Myland's specialty. And when you've been doing it as long as they have, you've seen it all. I've been saying it for years, and it's still true today. Myland is constantly closing loans other lenders just can't close. The Fed is starting to lower rates, so your time to act is now. Take a few minutes out of your day and call my friends at Myland. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Mortgage License C148769. Myland is located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk. It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Update on the trade war. New tariffs set to take effect on goods from China, Canada, and Mexico. But the Mexican government has talked with President Trump this morning, and now the tariffs there have been paused for up to a month while the two countries negotiate. CBS's Jason Allen reports from Laredo, Texas, one of the busiest ports for goods between Mexico and the U.S.
The agreement was that Mexico would immediately put 10,000 members of its National Guard up along the border. This is to combat the trafficking of drugs from Mexico to the United States, particularly fentanyl. You'll remember this is something that President Trump said would be necessary to avoid these tariffs. There was some question about what that would entail, what it would take from Mexico, but it looks like a surge of troops is going to be enough for now.
And tariffs against Canada and China are still set to go into effect just after midnight. Your weather for today, it's going to be beautiful, mostly sunny and 70, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. One person is dead, another critically injured in a series of crashes that happened this morning on I-85. We were telling you about it in Atlanta's Morning News. The wrecks involved a total of 4 cars near Chamblee Tucker Road off I-85. It starts with a single car crash. The driver got out of the vehicle, a second motorist stopped to help, and then just minutes later, a third vehicle hit the wrecked vehicle, and then both drivers who were in the roadway. A fourth car also got caught up in the wreckage and crashed
crash. The driver of the first car pronounced dead at the scene. The Good Samaritan is now in the hospital in critical condition. No word yet on any possible charges, and no names have been released. And Gwinnett County Police have charged a big rig driver in a hit-and-run accident that happened back on January 28th. Investigators say the driver of the tractor-trailer, 31-year-old Christian Barrier of Alabama, was attempting to change lanes on I-85 near Pleasant Hill Road and then caused that crash. He never stopped, and the driver of the car impacted was not injured. That driver called in the report as a hit-and-run. Barrier turned himself in and is now charged with hit-and-run, improper lane change, reckless driving, and reckless conduct. Happening right now.
Gracious God, strengthen now the broken hearts of this family.
Raphael Warnock with the opening prayer as funeral services are underway at Ebenezer Baptist Church for Cornelius Taylor. Taylor is the homeless man who was killed last month. He was crushed by an Atlanta Public Works vehicle. Later today, the Atlanta City Council is considering legislation to pause homeless encampment clearings. We'll be watching. Check back for an update. There will be a town hall meeting tonight in Forsyth County. It's concerning the ongoing repair work to a major interchange on Georgia 400. Forsyth County government spokesman Russell Brown says the town hall relates to repairs on a massive new interchange.
The interchange at SR 369 and 400 is a relatively new interchange. That overpass is a part of the widening of SR 369 there north Forsyth, which is really one of the more well-traveled routes in Forsyth County, especially on the northern end.
And so repair to that bridge has now extended that project by up to a year. The town hall is at 6 o'clock tonight at Brownsbridge Church. Officials hope to answer the public's questions about the repair work and whether the extension of the project will have an impact on tax dollars. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 83 at 44,461. NASDAQ is currently down more than a full percent, and the S&P is down more than 0.5%. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads.
And we cleared up that crash in Gwinnett County, 85 southbound, Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. It has since been replaced with a new one, 85 and northbound, up around Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102. That's in the center lane, so you're slow northbound from Jimmy Carter. Southbound still in recovery mode out of Duluth. And don't forget, you got that construction that is going to be on Northside Drive in northwest Atlanta, right around Collier Road. One lane is blocked there, so expect delays throughout the day into and out of northwest Atlanta from Buckhead. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high near 70, which is about 15 degrees above average for this afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, morning low 50, afternoon high 75.
60 degrees right now in Duluth. Tucker has 61 degrees, and it's 61 here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
I've got a sense of humor.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
The driver of this vehicle is a better human being than you are.
He's Eric Von Hessler.
I'm here to tell you the truth.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
One of the things that I plan to do is put forward a blueprint for how we communicate to each other. We've seen failures across the country of agencies not talking well.
That's Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem talking about Super Bowl security preps. We'll discuss that next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Taylor with Be the Younger You Atlanta. You've heard me talk about my patients losing up to 20 to 30 pounds in 1 month without side effects, injections, nausea, or muscle loss. That's because they're using anti-aging to lose weight. That's why they talk about how great they feel. Their energy levels soar, brain fog goes away, their joints don't hurt as much, and their hair and skin are better. It's not just about losing weight. I tell them, go buy these 3 things. Do I feel better? Am I happier about the way I look? And are my labs better? That's what counts. It's all about doing more, like when you were younger and living longer on your own terms. Hear it from the patients themselves. Go to BeTheYoungerYouATL.com. That's BeTheYoungerYouATL.com or call 770-415-3000 now for your free consultation. 770-415-3000. That's 770-415-3000.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. 11:37 on this really busy Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you till noon. We're going to get back to the big tariff story in just a second, but Deborah just went in and busted down the door of the supply closet? Prize closet. Supply prize closet. It's a dual closet. It's one of those walk-in deals, like Longoria's house. You just open the door and it's like a whole nother room closet. All right, we have two pairs of tickets to go. What are we giving away first, Deborah?
First, we got a pair of tickets to see AEW live at the Gateway Center Arena on February 5th. So that's coming up in just a couple of days, and that's wrestling.
Is that the Tony Schiavone's outfit, AEW?
I don't know. Maybe.
He's a big shot on one of those guys.
Should be, yeah.
All right, so let's do the 12th caller, Blue. 12th caller to 404-872-0750. 12th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to, I think, see my buddy Tony Schiavone. AEW. Wrestling. I used to be so into wrestling as a kid. You have no idea.
Live wrestling is even better.
Oh, my God. I was so into it. I don't know when. I guess I just
jump off the couch like it was a time.
Oh, yeah.
Try the figure 4 leg lock.
We had amateur wrestling matches in the living room. It was crazy. And then I discovered girls. That was it. I really, I never, stopped liking it, but I just was like, oh, girls now are a thing. Anyway, congrats to whoever wins it in the 12th caller. I want to get to tariffs in a second. This is a story that gives me hope for my advancing ages.
There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O.
We all know that song, right? We all know Bingo. But Bingo is a game, not just a farmer's dog. I remember playing Bingo for the first time when my grandparents moved down to Florida as required by the law. And they would do bingo nights at their apartment complex. I loved that game. I had so much fun playing Bingo. Apparently, researchers say Bingo could help you fight off dementia, something that I'm worried about as I get older. What exactly is the deal here, Deborah?
Yeah, there's just something about paying attention to the numbers and the letters, and if you play Bingo regularly, you have it might stave off dementia up to about 38%, which is
Really?
a pretty big number. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have you ever played Bingo, Longoria? Yeah.
We play Loteria.
Loteria.
Different.
I remember having so much fun as a kid. Like, I would time my visits. My parents would just put me on a plane, get rid of me, send me down to my grandparents in Florida. And I would make sure, I'm like, is bingo night in my visit? Like, I wouldn't go if it wasn't. It was amazing. Before, like, I still have, and then the marker, they took it serious there at Del Boca Vista Phase 3. I probably haven't played bingo. I think there was a drinking bingo in college. But anyway, back to the important part. Bingo could help stave off dementia. And I just started, I am worried about, there's a history of stuff in my family, and I don't want to lose that ability to think. So I actually bought a book over the weekend. I've been binge watching so much television, and I haven't read a book in God knows how long. I'm going to start reading again I think that if bingo can help fight dementia, then I think reading can. But before I switched to reading, I did binge watch American Primeval on Netflix this weekend. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Definitely suggest it. If you like Wild West, Settlers, that kind of thing, it's better than the Kevin Costner movie that came out about the West, which I enjoyed.
That was part 1.
That was part 1. I'm waiting for part 2. I definitely agree with, or definitely recommend American Primeval. Some actors in there you recognize. Definitely good stuff. Speaking of aging, I meant to bring this up last week. I am suffering from a lack of dexterity with my fingers. So I can't open packages anymore, like little tiny things.
You just can't grip well?
I don't know what's going on. Like Ashley gave me that. It is concerning. Like I always have to have my open. Like I have an affinity for Nesquik chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Right. And I can't open the container anymore. It's got that plastic seal on it, and it says like pull here. And I'm like little monkey paws. I can't opening like things of crackers. It's like, Maya, can you open, like, I'm still the man of the house. I still open pickle jars. Right. But I don't know, my finger, I'm calling it finger dexterity. I struggle opening a little packet of ketchup or mayo. Are you experiencing this?
No. But I have a lot of practice with working with little bitty Lego. So, so maybe that's
maybe you gotta play with some
maybe
Legos.
that's keeping me my finger.
I need some minifigs in my life.
You do?
To get through that.
Or play bingo.
Yeah, bingo.
We should have a Mark Aram show bingo night for Carathon.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would definitely do that. That'd be fun. We got to rent the bingo machine with the spinning thing and the balls. But if anyone, I mean, has anyone gone through this lack of finger dexterity? There was another thing I tried to open. Oh, when I was down in Florida at the hotel, like the little bar of soap, the little tiny bar of soap. I'd use my teeth. Like I couldn't get it.
Let me get that checked out there.
But what do I check out? Is that a neurological thing? Is it a physical thing? I was never great at any of this. You know, I was never a master at opening stuff. But the Nesquik, so delicious. And I couldn't. It even says like pull here. There's another one. Oh, the dog food. Like pulling the wet dog food that we give soap and juice. Just pulling the tab on that. It takes me like 4 tries to. I'm a mess. If anyone has advice, you can tweet at me at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Hey, congrats to Rick in Fayetteville. He won a pair of tickets to see AEW. We're going to give away more tickets to something different when we come back. Crew is beginning to remove the plane wreckage from the Potomac River in D.C. We'll update the plane crashes in both D.C. and Philly and the latest on the tariffs. One segment to go of the Mark Arum Show.
Morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
All lanes being held 575 north at Highway 92, exit 7.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Officials diverting you onto Mansell Road.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
When you're running a small business, every dollar counts. And there's lots of ways you could try saving money. Like, say, subletting half your office to an exotic pet shop. Or downsizing your fleet of catering trucks to a fleet of catering scooters. Or you could try a smarter way to save. Switch to Comcast Business Mobile. It could save you up to 70% on business wireless compared to AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And save you the hassle of having a parrot as your desk mate. So don't compromise your business to save money. Keep it growing with Comcast Business Mobile. An incredible value and smarter way to save. Comcast Business Mobile, powering smarter savings, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Compares weighted average of providers based on optimized pricing. Comcast Business Internet required. Reduced speeds after data usage included with plan. Savings may vary.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
There's a hidden cost we pay in Georgia. It shows up at the store. When you call a ride, buy car insurance. Georgia's broken tort system is making everything more expensive, costing every Georgia household more than $5,000 a year, all while families are still struggling with inflation. Unfair laws in Georgia are driving up the cost of doing business, and you're paying for it. If you're tired of high costs, tell Georgia legislators to pass common sense tort reform now. Brought to you by Protecting American Consumers Together.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Man,
Trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
So, you don't park in your garage anymore because your garage door is broken? That's it? Oh well, too bad. Been meaning to fix it. How much other stuff in your house doesn't work? TV only gets even numbered channels when it rains. Coffee maker only makes a cup and a half before it quits. If your dishwasher didn't wash, or your printer didn't print, or your vacuum cleaner didn't suck, you'd fix it. Why aren't you parking your car in this clean, dry, awesome garage just because your garage door is broken? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. We have the parts, tools, and the experience to fix what's broken. An expert repair and a fresh overhaul, and you'll get years of service out of your current system without spending a fortune to replace the whole thing. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage, and we'll come over and make it right. Because if it is broke, you do fix it. Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better. MoBetterGarage.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
11:49 on the Mark Aram Show. Better news, 85 up through Norcross. What can you tell us, Alex Williams?
Yeah, we had a stalled utility truck. It was in the center lane, 85 northbound, just before Beaver Ruin Road, exit 102. Hero got on scene. Has gotten that off to the right. Still slow back before Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99, but those delays will start to improve. Tap of the brakes downtown, 75-85 southbound from 17th Street down past William Street, and got that left lane construction to cab. The I-20 eastbound collector distributor rent between 285 and Wesley Chapel Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
There's maybe not as much room to negotiate on things like immigration, on fentanyl, the items that this administration is saying these tariffs are all about. It's a little bit of a murkier story with Canada.
That's Victoria Fernandez, Chief Market Strategist at Klossmark Global Investments in Houston, as we continue to monitor the tariff skirmish. Definitely not a trade war, as there's a now 30-day pause on the tariffs enacted by President Trump between us and Mexico. We'll continue to follow that story throughout the day. Before we get to the plane crash on Friday in Philly, Deborah, you have more tickets to give away.
Yes, more tickets. The Sweetwater 420 Fest is coming up at Pullman Yards, April 18th through the 20th. There's all kinds of bands like Revivalist, Drive By Truckers, Cypress Hill, and we have VIP tickets, so a pair of VIP tickets to Sweetwater 420
Cypress
Fest.
Hill VIP tickets. Ooh, we're going to make you earn this one. 20-second caller to 404-872-0750. 20-second caller, Blue, 404-872-0750 wins those VIP tickets, courtesy of the Mark Aram Show, 95.5 WSB. All right, joining us covering this tragic airplane crash Friday night in Philadelphia, ABC's Sam Sweeney. Crash, tragically, a huge crash Friday night. The investigation, more information through the weekend. What do we know this morning?
Well, investigators right now are trying to piece together exactly how this happened. They are methodically going through this Northeast Philadelphia neighborhood and looking for any evidence, any remains of this aircraft. We have seen pieces of the airplane scattered more than a quarter of a mile from the impact zone, which looks like a war zone. This is a massive crater in the middle of the road. This plane hit with extreme force, falling from the sky at more than 11,000 feet per minute, and now they have to try to figure out why it crashed. They recovered the black box. It was 8 feet below the ground, and that cockpit voice recorder, if they are able to extract the data from that, if it's not heavily damaged, will help them lead them to some clues about what happened.
Yeah, this medical transport jet crashed after, just under a minute after takeoff from the Northeast Philadelphia airport. Who was on board, and what was the type of plane that was involved in this crash?
It was in the air roughly just over 40 seconds when it nosedived for what we don't know why. There were 6 people on board, a paramedic, a doctor, 2 pilots, and a young patient, an 11-year-old child who had just been treated at Shriners Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. She was traveling with her mother. They were headed back to Mexico. They had come to the U.S. for care on this medical transport jet. They were stopping in Missouri for fuel. This was a Learjet 55. It was more than 40 years old, which does sound old and would raise some flags there. But if you maintain an aircraft correctly, you can fly them forever. So that's what the NTSB is going to be looking at. How well is this maintained? What did the maintenance records say? What is the company saying about this? Who are these pilots? What is their history? Where were they in the days prior to this event? They are going to look at everything to try to figure out what happened here so they can prevent it from happening again.
Sam Sweeney, ABC News, joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Sam, obviously this tragic crash in Philadelphia coming on the heels of that mid-air collision in D.C. NTSB, do they have the capabilities to investigate both crashes, or will they be thinned out a little bit personnel-wise?
They say they have the ability to do both crashes. They have teams in Philadelphia. The chair of the NTSB was there briefing the very next day. We've now been told she's back in Washington, and we do expect another NTSB briefing from D.C. later on this afternoon on the crash there, where the family members were able to visit the site yesterday, and they hope to begin the salvage work of getting that aircraft fuselage and the remaining bodies out of the water later today.
Yeah, in that D.C. crash, most of the wreckage went into the Potomac River. Not the case in Philadelphia. What's the situation on the ground? Was there damage? Was anyone hurt? Was anyone killed on the ground in Philly?
In Philly, one person was killed on the ground. They were in a car. Several people remain in the hospital, and 3 of those people are in critical condition. This was a massive fireball. Remember, it was loaded with fuel for this long trip back. They were going to make another fuel stop in Missouri, and when it hit the ground, it just exploded like a bomb. Neighbors there describing it like a missile. A number of row homes in the area on fire. It was also across the street from a strip mall. It was damaged there, fire there, and of course a number of cars on fire. It just charred throughout this major intersection.
Yeah, final question for you, Sam, and I know it's early on in the investigation, but in the D.C. crash, we had conjecture and theories. Was it pilot error? Was it air traffic control? The fact that this happened so quickly after takeoff, I don't even know if the investigation is going to go anywhere, but just looking for a cause at all at this point?
There is nothing. They're going to look at everything, and there's no speculation right now. I mean, it was poor weather, but generally poor weather doesn't make a twin-engine jet with 2 pilots on board fall out of the sky as it takes off from an airport. Temperatures were above freezing, but there was some light rain in the area. They're going to look at everything. It could be anything from, an issue with the oxygen tanks on board to a catastrophic mechanical failure with this airplane. They simply just don't know yet.
Yeah, I know you'll keep us posted. Sam Sweeney, ABC News. Sam, as always, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And in the meantime, they are continuing to search for wreckage in the Potomac River. I said it perfectly with Sam, and then I freeze up. Maybe that's a sign of my issues. Ignorance is bliss. I just checked Twitter talking about my finger dexterity. Don says it's a symptom of Parkinson's. Great. Kristen says I might have tennis elbow. Go to an ortho.
Doubt that.
Yeah, well, maybe because it's
baseball card elbow.
Elizabeth said it's a neuropathy problem. Making a neuropathy. Make an appointment with a neurologist. Might be early signs of arthritis. I am definitely going to have arthritis in my right arm, hand from baseball. So that and
did this start after baseball too?
No, it's been deteriorating for years. And Louise says I have Alzheimer's. All right, so there's a mixed bag.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah. No, everybody.
And that's the internet.
And that is the internet. All right, neuropathy. neuropathy. All right, you learn something new every day on the Mark Aram Show. Back to today. What is Aram suffer from?
That could be a new thing.
Yeah.
All right, today is National Carrot Cake Day. And the practice of using carrots in desserts started in medieval times. Cooks would make a type of pudding. They would boiled carrots, spices, flours, and eggs. Adding more flour and fat to the mix is what eventually gave carrot cake the lighter, fluffier texture we all know today.
I love carrot cake. One of my favorites. I don't like carrots, but I love carrot cake.
That's weird.
I wonder if other vegetables can be moved into cake form that I...
There's zucchini bread. It's kind of
I
the same.
like zucchini bread, too. Interesting. Carrot cake day. All right, I'm going to go get some carrot cake on my way home. A couple of quick birthdays. Blythe Danner. I'm going to play some audio here, Longoria. That's, what's her name's mom, right?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Out of the ivy you are, acting like such a jerk.
She played Robert De Niro's wife in Meet the Fockers. Blythe Danner turns 82 years old today. Nathan Lane.
We're not from the government. We're producers.
Producers turns 69 years old today. And I have had a crush on her since her days at News Radio. Maura
I need
Tierney
an assessment on a possible bowel obstruction.
turns 60 years old
I
today.
started my surgical rotation today. I'm back in med school.
I was a big fan of Maura Tierney. And News Radio. It was a good show. Joe Rogan was on that. Phil
That was a
Hartman.
good show.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Man, that should be streaming somewhere.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
Before we get to stars of the show, Ross in Buford, congrats. You won VIP tickets to Sweetwater.
Sweetwater 420.
420. Are we giving those away all week? Or is that? Oh. Lovely. Congrats to Ross and Buford. All right, stars of the show. We started the show with immigration attorney Lino Rodriguez from the Rodriguez Immigration Firm. I'm blaming because I left the KFC bowl. I'm malnourished today. He gets us